Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Whoops, phone's on. Welcome back to the Agostino Zinga Show with your host, Agostino Zinga, and this is episode number 878. That is Ocho Siete Ocho with your host, Agostino Zinga. How you doing? How you feeling? Great, amazing. Good to hear, good to hear, good to hear. How am I doing? All good, all things considered. All good, all things considered. Doing what we need to be doing what we need to be doing. Today's podcast will be a pretty long one prior to me heading to the gym and doing a couple bits and bobs. So strap in, strap on, and let's just dive in to the cultural commentary podcast world. Number one, rated one. Thank you for joining me as always. Thank you for joining me. So, I've had a bit of an annoying week. I'm not going to lie. I've had a bit of an annoying week. And it kind of culminated the other day in me having to pay £120 for a locksmith to come and open my door. Yes. I made the mistake that I haven't made this mistake ever. I think since I lived here. I lived here a long time. I lived here close to a decade. And I've never made this mistake. But I was on the way to go do my grocery shopping. I had my little shorts on. I had my flipping legs moisturized. I put on my cycling Vans, you know, because if you're a real cyclist, you got cycling shoes. You can't wear like regular trainers when you cycle because sometimes your feet don't fit into the straps, right? And I've got one of those trendy Velcro straps, so they don't fit in my little trendy Velcro straps on my little fucking Hackney Wick fixed gear bike. So I need nice little slender cycling Vans. This particular Vans I have are the Brain Dead collaboration. You know, Brain Dead, they did the streetwear brand. Big up Carl Eng. They did a really good collaboration with Vans back in the day for a pair of Vans. I'm going to call them Eras, because I'm sure Vans Authentics are the ones that don't have any cushioning around the collar. The Eras have the cushioning. So they're a pair of Van Eras that have this nice kind of leopardy print, thing on the top of it. I think I might have bought them on sale from like Good Hood like a few years ago. Really nice shoes though. I really swear by them. I love how they've got this kind of weird, almost over-dyed, distressed kind of color about them. And now that I've been wearing them in the rain and in the sun and the snow and the sleet, they've kind of dyed and discolored and stained and whatever it's going to be. So they look really good. But I put my little flipping Vans on. I was on the way to go get my bike downstairs in my little bike room of my apartment building. And as I closed the door of my little humble abode, as I went boom to the door, my mind immediately went, where's your keys to open the bike lock? Where's your keys to get back into this house? Where are your keys? I did the frantic pat. I did the frantic pat that we've all done, right? It's like when you remember when you were in school, a teacher asks you, haven't you got a pen? And you start touching yourself. Have I got a pen? Let me touch myself one moment. You know you don't have the pen. You know damn well you don't have anything on you. You know damn well all you have is your person. You have no pen. You have no homework. You have nada. But you just touch yourself anyway. That's what I did inside my door. I started touching myself. I was like, no way. And then you know what happened? Immediately I started touching myself. I immediately had this image flash before my brain. I had this image clear as day, 4K image of precisely where my keys were. In my main room, on the table. In my dining room, quote unquote, I knew exactly where they were. For some reason, I'm usually not good at visualizing where things are. I'm usually like, I take every day as it comes. I'm kind of baddy kind of person. But for some reason, I could visualize exactly where my keys were. And I knew they were on the table. And I was like, no. Don't tell me I left my keys inside. And this time when I woke up, because it was quite cold this day, right? Because usually when it's warmerish or whatever, so it doesn't even matter about weather. Let me not lie. Regardless of what the weather is, I usually like to open all my windows of my flat just to kind of get the air in and stuff and, let it kind of freshen up a bit. But I hadn't done that. So that would have been good, because if I would have been able to get the windows open, there's a chance I would have been able to go to my neighbors, knocked on their door and said, hey, emergency, can you let me jump through your window and jump into my window to get into my flat? But unfortunately, that wasn't the case because my windows weren't open. And also, you know, if they were open, I'd have to hope that they were open all the way through. I didn't just open them via the security thing. So basically, I was FUCKED, full stop. That's it. In the morning, before I'm going grocery shopping. And I was like, oh my God, now I got to get a locksmith, really? Oh. And then I started Googling around for a locksmith in my area. And then I started texting a couple. And this one guy had text. I thought, you know what? Let me just go for the first person who seems somewhat professional and doesn't give me a headache. He started asking me some questions about where I live. Asked me to send a picture of the door and what it looks like. Brief description of the issue. And then he quoted me the price. £120. He came pretty quickly though, by the way. The guy came pretty quickly. He came within within the hour. And the thing that really hurt me when I had to pay him, when I had to pay him £120 of my cold hard earned cash, was that it took him less than 5 seconds to open the door. Less than 5 seconds. Because he has this sort of like gadget that's shaped like an N. It's like an N gadget. And then he pops it through the letterbox. And then he basically goes up, you know, goes down, and the thing kind of lashes onto the door handle and opens the door. It's like an extendo hand kind of thing. It's like a shape like an N. It took him less than 5 seconds to open the door. And it cost me £120. So I thought to myself, you know what? I think locksmiths might have the best. Being a locksmith might be the most well-paid job per hour, you know, if you think about it. Because he earned £120 from me, and it took him less than 5 seconds to do the job. Yes, you have to get here, you have to do park, whatever it may be. But that's a pretty good ratio, isn't it? To make £120, and all you did is open your bag, take out your little gadget, put it through a letterbox, and go boop, and it opened in 2 seconds. That's pretty handy, isn't it? And I'm pretty pissed off myself because I feel like in the last couple of years, I haven't lost anything. Like, I was well known for losing my wallet, losing my keys. I was just a liability. But I have to be honest too. Since I've been calming it down with the packets, since I've been calming it down with the baggies, it's no surprise. It's no surprise that I also have. It's not a coincidence that I'm not losing things as frequently, if you think about it, or if I think about it. Because I think at the time when I was losing things on a daily basis, on a weekly, every time I'd go out, I'd come back with less of my possessions. I think the reason why, even to this day, it still hurts me that I lost. Well, I didn't lose this at this time. Someone stole it from me. But someone stole a jacket. I remember I went to like Efes in Dawson. Big up Efes. I'm not sure if it's even still there. A really cool little it was a snooker club. It also had a bar, but it also had like an area, a space where people would hire to put on like club nights and shit. And we used to go there and party. And it was like upstairs. It was really cool. So it was like you had to kind of go up a few stairs, and it was in the top floor of this kind of building. On Dawson, what was that, Kingston Road, wherever it may be. And I remember one time I went out there for some evening, some night. I put my jacket in the cloakroom, and I guess somebody took it by mistake. But then I didn't have a jacket. Usually when someone takes a jacket by mistake, it's because the attendant put it on the wrong hook or something. So you end up with whatever jacket's on your hook, whatever, or on your number. But this time when I went back to go check my jacket, it wasn't there. It was a really nice, if I'm not mistaken at the time, it might have been like an Hysteric Glamour. It was either Hysteric Glamour or Neighborhood. It was a really nice parka. It was like an N3B parka. If you know, you know, with like a faux fur hood, leather sleeves, like old Undercover when they used to make those jackets. No, remember Undercover when they used to make like jackets with like nylon bodies and leather sleeves. Oh, I love that jacket, man. I didn't even get a chance to wear it that much, and somebody fucking nicks it. And that was back in the day when I used to wear band t-shirts. I'd wear band t-shirts and bandanas, so I had to go back home with a cut-off t-shirt and no jacket. And it was clearly obvious that when I was going back home, it was obvious that either I had a fucking crazy night out, or someone stole my jacket. You could tell by looking at me that I didn't intend to go home without a jacket. I was so gutted. So those were the eras where I'd be losing my keys all the time. I had to get my keys cut every other week, every month. I was losing phones. I was losing the amount of cameras I've lost is crazy. The amount of cameras I've lost is fucking crazy. So I'm glad, even though this locksmith situation was a little bit embarrassing and annoying, it was just me not thinking. I was literally on autopilot. I was thinking about what I was already, because I was planning my day out in my head, what I was going to do after my grocery shopping, what I was going to go gym. I was already planning everything out. I had my music blowing in my ears, so I wasn't in sound mind. And usually when I'm leaving my house, I'm always kind of double checking I have all my things. But this time I didn't. I closed the door and I immediately knew, oh, I'm going to have to pay for that. I'm going to have to pay for that. When I heard the door go, doop, I knew, damn, you're going to have to pay for that, bro. And don't get me wrong, 120 is not, it's not a lot of money, but it's not nothing. But it could have been worse. It could have been worse. That guy could have charged me 5 bills, and that would have really hurt my heart if I would have seen him just open the door like that the way he did in less than 5 seconds after charging me £500. So I guess I feel a little bit better that it's 120, but still, that hurts. That absolutely hurts that he took me for 120. But I guess it was my fault, so I can't really complain. It was my fault, so I can't really complain. So, let's continue on. Thank you for joining me. Let's get right on into the show. So the first thing I wanted to talk about today, was this really brilliant, really freaking brilliant speech from Timothée Chalamet during the SAG Awards, which I thought was really inspiring, really motivating and shit, but also kind of spoke to him as a person, him as an actor, and something that I've kind of been seeing with a few people here and there. So listen to Timothée Chalamet as he kind of accepts his awards and gives a really inspiring, motivational speech as he wins his award. Let's press play.
All right, raise this up. Guess I'm just gonna talk low. I don't know how to get this up. All right, well, thank you. I was not expecting this at all, truly. I'll start by thanking my mother, who I'm here with tonight. She has been working at Actors Equity for 40 years, the stage union. And I'll quickly run through this, I know the classiest thing would be to downplay the effort that went into this role and how much this means to me, but the truth is this was 5.5 years of my life. I poured everything I had into playing this incomparable artist, Mr. Bob Dylan, a true American hero, and it was the honor of a lifetime playing him. It's an honor I share with Monica, Elle, Edward, the entire cast, who in a genre doing a biopic that could be perhaps tired. Everyone gave it their all, so I'm deeply grateful to them. And lastly, I can't downplay the significance of this award because it means the most to me. And I know we're in a subjective business, but the truth is I'm really in pursuit of greatness. I know people don't usually talk like that, but I want to be one of the greats. I'm inspired by the greats. I'm inspired by the greats here tonight. I'm as inspired by Daniel Day-Lewis, Marlon Brando, and Viola Davis as I am by Michael Jordan and Michael Phelps, and I want to be up there. So I'm deeply grateful to that. This doesn't signify that, but it's a little more fuel, it's a little more ammo to keep going. Thank you so much.
Top fucking boy. And the reason why I have to speak about this is because I felt like within the last few years, there's been this overabundance, or there's been this like insistence for some celebrities, some artists out there, especially the ones on the highest level. Everyone's trying to be relatable. Everyone's trying to dumb down their star. Everyone's trying to act like they don't really want it, right? Everyone's trying to act like they want to be like a regular person. They want to be just like you, right? Or worst, which I really flipping despise, are the people who are using mental health as an excuse to them for not to try or to give it their all or to be driven or to be motivated or da-da-da-da-da. So it's quite nice from time to time when you see people like Timothée Chalamet, or Chalamet, however you pronounce his name, apologies. Sabrina Carpenter's another one who I think is the same. Addison Rae. I'm going to say someone like a Dosey. You see people who really want it. It's nice to see celebrities and artists out there who really want it. They enjoy being famous. They enjoy operating on that sort of level. They want to put out the best work possible. And they just want to do something. They want to kind of leave their mark on the industry, on the scene, on the genre, on whatever else that they do. That's something that you don't see often. And it's great to see someone like a Timothée noticing that, being that person, kind of stepping into it. Because during the promo runs of these movies he's been doing, number one, he's dressing the best he's ever dressed in ever. I'll probably speak about that in another pod. But his fucking outfits lately have been absolutely amazing. 10 out of 10. Big up his stylist. Big up him too. I'm sure it's a collaboration that they're kind of coming together and making sure that all of his outfits now look like they have some sort of there's some sort of congruence going on with his outfits. I feel like in the past, a lot of his outfits, even though he's like, you know, he's got this like twink body shape where you'd imagine a lot of things will look really good on him. I feel like in the past, a lot of these clothes he'd wear were wearing him. Whereas nowadays, he feels really comfortable in his clothes. Now, that might be because he's at a stage of his career where he's kind of coming into his own. He's growing up into being a young man now. He's sort of coming into his quote-unquote peak. But I feel like that is a kind of representation of kind of where he's going. Because the promo run for his movies, especially this Bob Dylan movie, I feel like he's been pounding the road. He has been promoting this movie harder than I've seen any actor promote a movie, maybe except for like when Kevin Hart is in album mode, or movie mode, sorry. When Kevin Hart or Dwayne The Rock Johnson are in movie mode, you know it. Will Smith back in the day was the same. You'd know when they're in movie mode. And I feel like Timothée Chalamet is kind of picking up a mantle for those type of people, but he's hitting it even harder. He doesn't seem like he's bothered or exhausted by any of the promo press runs that he's on. Every interview that he's given 110%. He's given loads of character. He's giving a lot of flapping, what's that word called? Performing arts energy, or whatever else it may be. And he's out here on the stage telling you, with his bold face, with his full chest, I want to be the best. And you don't hear that often. Everyone's just happy to take part. Everyone's just happy to be invited, right? But he is legitimately saying, no, now that I'm here, I want to leave my mark on the timeline of great actors, but I also want to be the best. I also want to be the best. And you have to admire it. You really do. So big up Timothée Chalamet. It's great to see him doing this. I'm rooting for him. I haven't even watched the Bob Dylan movie. I don't really care about it, to be fair, or Bob Dylan with any kind of regard. But I love that he exists. I love that it exists. I've heard a lot of good things about the movie, though. A lot of people that I've heard who have watched it have said it's fucking fantastic. So I can't wait to watch it myself. But big up to Timothée Chalamet for putting it on for himself and saying, being clear with his intentions and not being shy about wanting to be awesome. Not being shy about wanting to be awesome. I fucking love it. Next, we have this clip. This hilarious clip of Neymar after a recent appearance for Santos, because Neymar's gone back to Santos, his boyhood club in Brazil, to finish his career effectively. And after the game, the opposition side, I think this might be against Vasco da Gama or Boa Vista, I'm not too sure what the team is that he's playing. But after the game is finished, the opposition players all line up to take countless pictures with Neymar. And he's the most professional guy ever. There's like, I'm playing this 1 minute clip, right? And I think the whole squad are taking pictures with him. The whole squad, including backroom staff, including subs, including medical staff, whatever. They're all lining up to take a picture with Neymar after the game. It's absolutely fantastic. And you know what I love about this, by the way? I love that he's a pro. I love that he's a pro and he's smiling and doing his job. Because the one thing that annoys me the most, about this thing called life, right, is that Neymar's probably, his time is probably more in demand than anybody else would imagine, being the global professional football star that he is, but he's still willing to take countless pictures, because this is not the end. There'll be more pictures at half time. Sorry, there'll be more pictures at full time. There'll be more pictures at the end of the game when he's walking down the tunnel. There'll be more pictures out of the changing room into the parking lot. There'll be more pictures on the way home. There'll be pictures if he goes to a club. It's not going to stop. The only time it's going to stop is when he goes home or when he goes to sleep, right? But he's still being professional. He's still being courteous. He's still being kind enough to smile and take these pictures. Even though it's probably annoying, even though it's taking up all his time, he's putting a good face on it. Now, so there's some professional fucking DJs out there, right? There's some professional fucking DJs who will leave you unseen via the DMs. Who will see you saying hi to them in a club somewhere, and they'll look at you like you are scum, like you are shit on the bottom of their shoe. DJs with like 1,000 followers on fucking Instagram or something, looking at you like you're a peasant, right? being all icked out and freaked out if you try and go for a hug or a handshake, or you tell them how much you love them and how much you like what they do, even if you are a little bit high and a little bit giddy. They'll look at you like you're a fucking animal and a freak, right? They won't give you any acknowledgement. But Neymar, legitimately one of the most famous people on earth, is willing to stand there at the end of a grueling football match. He's probably tired. He's probably, his legs are probably full of lactic acid. He wants to chill. He needs an ice bath. He needs a massage. He needs just a drink. He needs to just relax, a shower. But here he is on a pitch, taking countless pictures with the opposition players, doing it with a smile. But there's DJs out there that want you to believe it's okay for them to air you and not even give you a reply, not even acknowledge your DM, not even say hi back if you say hi to them in public. Run away, refuse to take a selfie. But Neymar, one of the most popular people on the earth, is willing to do this for hours on end, every day of his life, especially back in Brazil. Now that he's back in Brazil, it's awful because he's probably one of the most famous people in Brazil. In Europe, it's probably the same, but in Brazil, you probably imagine playing for his boyhood club is probably fucking crazy. But you want me to believe it's okay for a fucking DJ to fucking turn you down and say, nah, no selfies today. I'm a bit tired. I'm not looking my best. Bruh, you better take this fucking selfie. You don't know how far I've come. You don't know how much of a booking fee. You don't know how much of a booking fee I had to pay for these blood clot tickets. You don't know how much I had to get scammed, right, on fucking Facebook, on Twitter for these tickets. You best motherfucking take this selfie. Neymar's taking it. If Neymar can take it, a DJ can take it. If Neymar's taking it, a DJ can take it. Next, I saw this clip featuring LeBron James listening to the new 2 Chainz and Larry June collab project, right? Obviously, the song playing there, we don't need to hear it because I'm going to get copyright struck. But it just made me think, how much do you think LeBron regrets getting in so involved in the Drake and Kendrick fucking situation? Because it makes no sense. He really fucked it for himself. Why did he have to get so involved? Now he has to pretend like he doesn't care about Some Sexy Songs for You. But if he was still cool with Drake, if Drake was still cool with him, he would definitely be playing this on his Instagram stories and pretending to know the words to fucking Nokia or something. But now he has to pretend to be into 2 Chainz and Larry June, as if anybody's listening to that right now. Everybody within, his kind of orbit, especially professional athletes, the only thing they're probably listening to right now is fucking Kendrick GNX and that new Party Next Door and Drake. But LeBron can't listen to the Drake thing because he chose sides in the whole Kendrick and Drake beef, which I still don't understand. A part of me thinks maybe he chose sides in the whole Kendrick and Drake beef due to him playing for Los Angeles Lakers. Maybe someone at the front office said he had to get involved, or he felt like if he did, it would be good for the brand and the franchise. I don't know, but I felt it was really odd considering his friendship with Drake that he would get involved in that beef. The only thing I could think that makes sense for the beef and why he got involved, maybe he didn't think it was that big of an issue. Maybe he thought it was just bars. Maybe he didn't think it was that deep. So he thought this is just something happening in hip hop. It's a cultural moment. Why wouldn't I take part and quote unquote pick a side? It's almost like wrestling, right? It's not really real. But that was obviously a miscalculation because most of us could see, based on the lyrics, based on especially Kendrick's tonality in his voice, based on the aggression that he was coming at Drake with, it wasn't just a thing about lyricist to lyricist. It wasn't just a sparring contest. That was deep contempt, deep hatred between the two of them. So much so you'd imagine if they ever cross paths, their crew, they'd be throwing hands instantly. It'd be like that scene when Drake and Chris Brown crossed paths in that club somewhere and they were throwing glasses at each other and shit. There'll be fucking smashed bottles and glasses and chairs being thrown everywhere. That's like a real beef. I don't think real enough to kind of have people die, but definitely real enough where people would actually crash out and, and want to fight each other. So the fact that LeBron James would involve himself in that way was really bizarre. And I also think, which is something that is probably, a little bit obvious, but it wouldn't surprise me to learn LeBron tried to actually reach out to Drake to kind of squash shit. Hey man, it's all good, man. Why are you so sensitive? And got completely left on red or got completely aired out. I can see that being a thing too. It's like, bro, how can you not read the room? How did you think that was gonna go? How did you think it was gonna go when everybody's kicking this guy's back in? He's losing this beef. Clearly, this battle is losing it. And then here you are dancing in the crowd to the fucking song, going to the fucking concert, sharing a song all over your fucking social media and shit. When clearly the person that is being targeted towards isn't receiving it the best way. Don't get me wrong. Maybe in another life, that beef could have just been a little bit of a sparring thing, and you could get involved as a LeBron, and it wouldn't be seen as you picking sides. But I think in that situation, it was clear that it was more than just lyrics. It was more than just bars they were warring. It was more of a behind the scenes thing, and clearly some sort of dislike going on between the two for ages. I have read online, actually, there's this rumor. I'm not sure if you guys have heard it, but there's a rumor online that the beef between Kendrick and Drake started because Drake paid for Kendrick's meal one time, and Kendrick took it as a form of disrespect. Like, Drake saw Kendrick out at like a restaurant or somewhere like that, and he paid for his meal. And then when Kendrick found out, he didn't like it, and he's hated him ever since. Which is quite. I would rate that. If that's true, I rate that. If that's fucking true, I rate that. Big up Kendrick. If like he saw that as some sort of sunning, he saw that as like Drake trying to big time him or trying to lil bro him or something. Like, bruh, like we're about the same age. Number one. Number two, I've got my own money. Number three, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, why are you paying for my meal? Like, what are you doing? I would love that to be true. I really would love that to be true. Whether it's true or not, I really do doubt it. But I wonder how much LeBron James is regretting his decision to step in and pick sides during the Kendrick and Drake thing, because now he can't even enjoy some sexy songs for you on his Instagram. He has to pretend to be listening to fucking 2 Chainz and Larry June. Hilarious, hilarious, hilarious. Next, we got this clip courtesy of Sky Sports News that features Jamie Carragher, Michael Richards, Daniel Sturridge, and Roy Keane doing some analysis after Liverpool beat Man City 2-0 away. All about guarantees fucking the title, by the way. And they get into a debate about Mo Salah because Mo Salah's been fucking ripping it this season. I fucking hate the player because he plays for Liverpool, and I just hate his face. I hate like his little smugness like he does when he scores a goal, like, oh. You know what I mean? He's fucking annoying. But he's an amazing player. So they're talking about Mo Salah and the potential of him potentially winning the Ballon d'Or. And for whatever reason, Jamie Carragher is arguing against Mo Salah's ability to win the Ballon d'Or because he's African and he plays for Egypt. And if he does well for Egypt, it's not really going to count in the AFCON towards his Ballon d'Or. It's not really going to count, which is bizarre. But this is Jamie Carragher kind of talking against his own player. And Michael Richards and Daniel Sturridge have to step in and say, no, AFCON, the African Nations Cup, is as important as any European Cup, as any as any national European competition like the Euros. And it should count. It should kind of put you in good stead to win the Ballon d'Or. Why shouldn't it? Very odd situation here. And it kind of does make Jamie Carragher sound like a little bit of a racist, really oddly. But let's listen to the clip and let's listen to Jamie Carragher rooting against his own player, right? He's a Liverpool legend. Salah's putting up numbers for Liverpool in maybe what might be his last season. He might go out in a high and win them the fucking title after however many years. And Jamie Carragher's, you know, saying all these disparaging things about fucking Salah or pouring cold water on Salah's hype. Really weird, really flipping weird.
I think the fact he's probably with Egypt and he's probably not playing in the major tournament as such, or maybe got a great chance of winning. I think it's either the Champions League or the major tournament. Normally the player who excels in that. You know, you're looking at sort of Vinny Jr. and Mbappe right now. Real Madrid looking really good, going for the Champions League. Liverpool will be in that conversation, but right now he's certainly the front runner. And Roy, what you've just said there in terms of getting maybe more trophies and league titles, that could actually put him above probably Kenny Dalglish.
You're trying to talk well here, but he doesn't really like him. Let's continue. Come on. Kane Dalglish what? Kane Dalglish what? Kane Dalglish what, bruv? What happened there? Why is he not playing?
Roy, what you've just said there in terms of getting maybe more trophies and league titles, that could actually put him above probably Kenny Dalglish and Steven Gerrard in sort of where he ranks in terms.
What's happening here? Why is it not playing? Oh, it's being annoying for some reason. I don't know why it's not playing. Let's play it one more time and I might have to download it. It's being fripping annoying. Okay, one more time.
I think the fact he's probably with Egypt and he's probably not playing in the major tournament as such, or maybe got a great chance of winning. I think it's either the Champions League or the major tournament. Normally the player who excels in that. You know, you're looking at sort of Vinny Jr. and Mbappe right now. Real Madrid looking really good, going for the Champions League. Liverpool will be in that conversation, but right now he's certainly the front runner. And Roy, what you've just said there in terms of getting maybe more trophies and league titles, that could actually put him above probably Kenny Dalglish and Steven Gerrard in sort of where he ranks in terms of Liverpool legends, because I think right now he's right.
He's happy about that. He's not happy about that, by the way.
AFCON is a major tournament because a lot
Exactly.
of people saying people not taking that. AFCON is a major tournament.
Look at his face. Look at his face.
Egypt never going to win the World Cup, are they?
No, but
AFCON's a major club.
It's big, wasn't it? Remember when him and Mane was going for it? And
Oh, look at Jamie Carragher. What a cunt. Condescending cunt. Exactly.
Well, I hope he's got a big.
Look at his face. Look at his face. Look at the smugness on his fucking face. Oh, Jamie Carragher. What an absolute arsehole. That's the thing that doesn't make me, like, I'm okay with people saying AFCON maybe isn't probably the highest quality of competition. Let's not get it twisted. It's good for attacking football. If you're going into it looking for defensive play and stuff, you're probably not going to get it. But if you're gonna rate stuff like Copa America, if you're gonna rate stuff like the Euros, then AFCON has to be also in that kind of realm. Because the only thing people really give a shit about is the World Cup. The Euros is pretty shit, all things considered. Euros is pretty shit. Copa America isn't that great, especially the earlier stages, the group rounds and shit. When it gets to the latter stages, it gets a little bit more exciting. But the competition that everyone really cares about international wise is the World Cup. So if you're gonna say the only thing that matters is the World Cup, fair enough. It's a bit unfair as a criteria to win the Ballon d'Or, because if you're a player that ends up, imagine if we end up in the future with having a Messi type player who's from the Faroe Islands, because that person isn't able to win a World Cup with the Faroe Islands, that would diminish their ability to win the Ballon d'Or, especially if they can't win a Champions League. That should be unfair. But obviously, if you're playing for a smaller nation and you're able to do more with that smaller nation, that should count a little bit more to what you do. But I just think if you view the Euros on a pedestal, you should, in my opinion, put AFCON on that same pedestal. And the fact that he isn't doing that is odd. Now, the really interesting thing about this is that, yes, it's kind of, tinged in racism. But the funny thing about this is that he's talking about Mo Salah. Mo Salah plays for Liverpool. He's a Liverpool legend, yet he's pouring cold water on Mo Salah's ability to win the Ballon d'Or while playing at Liverpool, which is odd. And I always wondered, like, what is it about Jamie Carragher and Mo Salah? Why has he got such a bee in his bonnet about this guy? And then I was thinking about it earlier today. I was thinking to myself, you know what? You know what this could boil down to? I think it boils down to Mo Salah being upset that the club hadn't offered him a new contract. Because I think in the beginning of this season, he was coming into his last year of his contract at Liverpool. And I think he gave an interview or he said something after a game where he basically like, yeah, I haven't been offered anything, so I have to assess my options. And he just said in an interview, I'm not sure what was wrong with it. He was asked a question in an interview about his situation, and he answered it truthfully. And people like Jamie Carragher and other ex-pundits who have this weird thing about not discussing anything with the media started really going on hissy fits about how it was unprofessional for him to do that. But he answered the question, and then obviously now he's putting up crazy numbers. Everyone's wondering, are Liverpool really going to let him go when he's clearly still got a lot more left in the tank? And I guess Jamie Carragher has never been able to forgive Mo Salah for saying, number one, he hasn't been offered anything, and number two, he's maybe looking for a move. Because these players are like, because he's a Liverpool legend and he comes from there, he thinks every other player loves his club the way he loves his club. And for them to kind of denigrate, disrespect the club by saying that they want to leave is the ultimate form of disrespect to people like him. Which is odd, because it's not. To most people, it's just a job, it's a business, you're playing for a club, you're doing well, and you're hoping to offer you something. They don't, you go somewhere else. I'm assuming if you're Mo Salah, you'd probably prefer to stay in Liverpool. His kids are probably used to the area. He's got family there now. He's got roots there now. He'd probably prefer to stay as long as possible to allow them to get the most out of it while he's there. But if they don't want to offer him a deal and he's playing the way he is, he'd be dumb not to consider his options. But I guess Jamie Carragher hasn't been able to accept that and move on from it. So he's still sort of like, spitting feathers, for lack of a better term. And talking about spitting feathers, it also got me thinking about how fortunate he is to be who he is. Because could anybody else in media, I think in general, like just imagine Michael Richards or Daniel Sturridge got into some sort of argument with somebody in a car and ended up spitting at the person from their car on camera. Could you imagine them keeping their jobs? Could you imagine Micah Richards or Daniel Sturridge or any other non-white football pundit keeping their job after spitting at a child or spitting at anybody? So it always impressed me how he got away with that, to be fair. How that was just like, oh, I had I flew off the handle. It was a moment that I regret. I have a short temper. I need to work on it. I'm sorry. And he was back on TV. Like, how the flip was somebody that's willing to spit, throw phlegm at a child, still allowed to come on TV? It's absolutely disgusting. And now here he is being blatantly racist against the African Nations Cup because he thinks it's not rated as highly as the Euros. No, I'm sorry. If England players who haven't won the Euros in ages can be considered for a Ballon d'Or for some shitty run that they have in the Euros, then Egypt for winning it can also be considered. I don't understand why that's any different. It makes absolutely no sense why that's different. But he then ended up kind of throwing his toys at the pram, which is fucking brilliant. Rio Ferdinand, who shouldn't have the moral high ground on anybody, to be fair, right? The fact that Rio Ferdinand can dunk on you says everything that's wrong about Jamie Carragher. But Rio Ferdinand got on his podcast and spoke about the situation, and obviously had the similar words to say about Jamie Carragher than I did. That what he said was wrong. African Cup of Nations is really highly rated, and it did kind of stink of some level of racism. And Jamie Carragher went in the comments and started getting at Rio and said the following. Rio put the clip up of what he said about Jamie Carragher on his Instagram, and Jamie Carragher replied in the comments and said, "I didn't say that, you clown. Stop playing to the gallery like you always do." He's absolutely rattled, and Rio replied to him in the comments, says, "You've had a couple of bad weeks, ... Lewis Skelly and Pep." Yeah, hilarious. Which is good because I think he had some really harsh words to say about Lewis Skelly's celebration, which I think I agree with, to be fair. I think Arsenal fans who think that celebration, that Lewis Skelly celebration against City, the only thing that's annoying about that whole thing, because it's Arsenal, is that you just have to win. I don't think anybody gives a fuck about showboating. I love shithousery. I love players having character, having personality, and doing really unique celebrations. But if you do that shit, you have to win. And I don't mean win matches. I mean win trophies. You have to put numbers on the ball. You have to put fucking numbers on the fucking, on the scoreboard, and you have to put trophies in the cabinet. You can't be doing all those fucking games and little whatever things that you're doing and not winning trophies. That's the thing that's really annoying to most people. And I don't think Arsenal fans kind of understand that. So I did kind of agree with Jamie Carragher's point of view on that one. With the Pep Guardiola situation, that was fucking funny. Allegedly, not allegedly, he said, what did he say about? He said something about Haaland. He said that Haaland pulled out of the game against Real Madrid because he was afraid of coming up against Rudiger. And it's like, what type of level of football analysis is this? That's probably the reason why people like myself are more encouraged or have more time to listen to football YouTubers and their content than watch anything that's on the main broadcasting channel, sports-wise, when it comes to BT and whatever else, Sky Sports and shit. Fuck all that noise. Because some of the pundits, some of the analysis you get, especially from people who actually play the game, which is always kind of bizarre to me, people who actually play the game, guys who have actually won trophies, who played at the highest levels, have some of the worst opinions you've ever seen in your life about the game. It's absolutely crazy how often that seems to happen. It's really, really, really bizarre how often that seems to happen. Like the guys who have played at the highest levels, who've won all the trophies, who played against some of the best players in the world, seem to have absolutely no clue about the game and how to articulate themselves and their thoughts about what's actually going on. It's absolutely one of the most hilarious things that you'll see when it comes to content creation, is these kind of big football players saying the most asinine thing you've ever heard of. Well, off the back of that, finally, Jamie Carragher did reply to all the backlash he's been receiving online, people calling him out to be racist, which I think that statement was tinged in some level of racism. And Jamie Carragher decided to crash out on everybody while he's explaining and trying to double, triple down on what he said. And again, just remember, he is going against his own player here. He is a Liverpool legend, and he's somehow denigrating his own player by saying that they can't win the AFCON because they happen to be from Egypt and they're playing the African Cup of Nations, and Egypt ain't got a chance to win the World Cup, which is absolutely crazy. But let's absolutely watch this, or I'll read through his tweets here where he kind of claps back, or attempts to clap back, as some of the haters and people who are trying to call him out to be a racist. So let's see what Jamie Carragher has to say about this, which is absolutely hilarious to think that there are more people out there on social media defending Mo Salah and his validity to be a Ballon d'Or winner, as opposed to the actual Liverpool legend who plays for the club that Mo Salah actually plays for. What a weird timeline we live in. We live in a timeline where random people on the internet are bigger fans of Mo Salah, or are able to put some of their club allegiances to one side. I've even seen Man United fans say, look, I fucking hate that club, I hate that player, I hate everything about him, but I'm willing to put that fucking hatred of him to one side and say, no, he should win, or he should be considered to win the fucking Ballon d'Or if he wins the fucking AFCON with Egypt. The AFCON should be rated on the same level as the Euros, as these fucking Copa Libertadores or whatever it may be called, right? Why not? Why not? Because those competitions are just as good or just as bad as the AFCON anyway. It makes absolutely no sense. So let me get this post up here, and then we can see what Jamie Carragher said, and then we can move on to its own little thing there. Big up the stream chat too, everybody tuning in. Appreciate you. Make sure if you're watching the stream, liking the stream, that you like the stream down below, subscribe to the channel, all that regards. That'd be greatly appreciated. So this is Jamie Carragher on Twitter saying the following about the Salah situation. Salah, AFCON, Ballon d'Or. The point I was trying to make yesterday was that Mo Salah is at a disadvantage playing for Egypt in terms of winning the Ballon d'Or. If Salah had an average season at LFC but won the AFCON as an MVP, I don't think he would win the... That's a dumb qualifier, though. That's a dumb qualifier. Because how can you be at disadvantage when you're born where you're born? It makes no sense. If Haaland is Danish, right? Is it Danish or whatever? One of those Scandinavian countries, right? It's unlikely he's going to win the Euros or the World Cup. But if he has a strong league performance and he kills it in the Champions League, he should be considered for the Ballon d'Or. That's how it should work. Obviously, international tournaments are a bonus, I think, but they shouldn't be the determining factor if you win a Ballon d'Or or not. They shouldn't be a determining, because some players, unfortunately, are born in nations that have less of a chance of winning those major trophies because they don't produce as good players as the other major countries. That's just the way it is. Look at Gareth Bale. He's another good example. World-class player, but he's from Wales, you know? They're never going to win the Euros or the World Cup anytime soon. And obviously, they weren't really close to winning it anyway when he was playing for them before he retired. So that's a shitty qualifier in the first place. And also, part of the prerequisite, I think, of winning a Ballon d'Or is having a good or a strong league performance. You can't really perform average during the league. It doesn't really happen that way. Maybe there are some players, maybe if you play for Real Madrid, you might be able to scum it, but you have to have a pretty strong performance in the league for you to be considered as a Ballon d'Or potential winner. It doesn't really work any other way. You have to do that. Maybe you could scum it with cup competitions, with the Champions League. You might put up 7s out of 10 every game, or 6s out of 10s, and be able to kind of scum that because your team kind of carried you. Cool. But I think in general, you have to be a standout player in the league, whatever domestic league you play in, to be considered for the Ballon d'Or. You should be, in my opinion, but I could be wrong. He continues and says, because I don't think AFCON carries the weight of other competitions or tournaments. But if Mbappe had an average season at Real Madrid, but won the World Cup and Euros, he'll be still a great opportunity. No, yeah, but that's Mbappe. It's another caliber of player. That doesn't make any sense. I think if Mbappe wants to win the Ballon d'Or, his best chance is to perform well in La Liga for Real Madrid. His best chance is to perform well or exceptionally well for Real Madrid in the Champions League and make them and allow them to win it or retain it. And obviously, if he has a great tournament at the World Cup or at the Euros and he wins one of them, of course that's going to help his chances to win the Ballon d'Or. But it's not make or break, the international thing. It's not make or break. And you can't just have an average season and still win the Ballon d'Or. It doesn't happen that way. I can't think of a single player who's won the Ballon d'Or in recent years who has had an average season. It doesn't happen like that. Maybe some of the nominees or some of the people that come second and third, but the person that wins it, I don't think ever has an average league season. It doesn't happen. Jamie Carragher continues. It's not just about the certain tournaments, Shevchenko, Ukraine, Lewandowski, Poland, where we're never going to win the World Cup or Euros to help the case for the prize. I don't think it's controversial at all, really. It's just a fact. It's not just about tournaments. Shevchenko were never going to win. But Shevchenko and Lewandowski, if Shevchenko would have won the Champions League and the Premier League for Chelsea at the time he was playing, or AC Milan at the time he was playing, and then had a decent enough performance at the international football tournament, that would have definitely helped his chances. Why not? I don't understand what he's trying to say here. And also, those players played in a time when Ronaldo and Messi were around. So there really wasn't a chance that they were ever going to win the Ballon d'Or anyway, you know? That would probably hamper their fucking chances. Now I think it's a lot easier because the playing field isn't as, you know, the level isn't as high as it was when Ronaldo and Messi were at their pomp. It continues here. I know Mane came second a few years back after winning the tournament, but that alone wouldn't get him to the position. It was LFC being 2 games away from the quadruple that played a big role in it. But it all played a big role. What is wrong with this guy, bro? Why is his brain so broken? It all played a role. If he was in a contention to win the Ballon d'Or because Liverpool's quadruple, then surely everything else that he done also played a role in terms of him nearly getting the Ballon d'Or win. That would make more sense, no? He continued, it's not disrespectful if I feel like the World Cup, Euros or Champions League, I guess, are better tournaments. It's just my opinion when I watched them. Saying it wasn't a major competition was clumsy, but I think most people... Exactly. No. You not saying they're a major competition is not the clumsy part. That's a racist part. You could not enjoy it. You could think the World Cup and Euros is better than African Nations Cup. Cool. But to say that they're not major competitions when they include some of the, you know, best countries in Africa competing against each other to win the African Cup of Nations is obviously tinged in a little bit of racism. But I think most people watching would understand the point I was trying to make. No, we don't. We still think you're a racist cunt. The face I pulled when Micah interjected was nothing to do with the merits of the tournament. I just knew as soon as he did what the reaction was going to be. I get a lot of people didn't like what I said. So shut up, bro. You did that face because you're being a condescending cunt. A condescending cunt. You're a racist, condescending, Liverpool vermin cunt. It continues. I don't normally respond to things on here or post like this, but here you are responding, you cunt. But decided to tweet in the end after seeing so many phonies jump on the bandwagons playing to the gallery when they knew what I meant. Good luck, Mo, you little dancer. Oh, honestly, Jamie Carragher is such a cunt, innit? He's such a condescending, insufferable prick. If he gets fired off the back of this, which he probably shouldn't, I'm not going to call for anybody to be fired, but if he does, he deserves it. Just for being an arsehole. Just for being an arsehole who thinks he's untouchable, who thinks he can say what the fuck he wants, who thinks that sometimes when I say what I say, it was misinterpreted differently and it's out of context. No, bro. We saw the whole clip. We saw your expressions. We saw your little mannerisms. We saw the little things that you were doing. We saw it. We all got eyes. We all know exactly what you did. So allow it. Take a deep breath. And spare a thought for Mo Salah, by the way. Spare a thought for fucking Mo Salah. One of your players, somebody that's a legend for the club, talks about you in this way on a big broadcasting network like Sky Sports. Probably a sign that you should leave the club. Probably a sign that you should leave the club. But again, what do I know? Absolutely nothing. Talking about knowing nothing, look at this, bro. Look at this. Look at this. This is courtesy of Momentos Virales, which I think is Spanish for viral moments. I'm assuming that is Spanish for viral moments, right? Look at what we've got here on the flipping screen. We've got a screen picture here of what looks like to be airport security, whatever they're called, people. She's got somebody in the back here in a Colombian airport somewhere, I'm assuming, and they're about to cut the hair off this person to uncover a very, very special treat. I wonder if you can guess, before I press play, what the special treat might be inside this person's head that she's going to cut open with some scissors. What do you think it might be? She's cutting this guy. He's got like a toupee, looks like, on, with some scissors. And underneath, where she's peeling the top off, you see little packets of cocaine in this guy's wig toupee hair thing. Absolutely insane. I don't know how many packets it is that he was trying to carry through the airport, but it looks like a lot to me. He's trying to carry quite a bit through there, and she's cutting it off pretty expertly here and peeling off the entire thing. I feel like it probably hurts. I think he's making noises. Oh, look, that's a scan of him going through the airport scanner. Nothing there, but you can see at the top of his head the packets in the head, in the wig, in the headpiece. So he's taking off his hat. But the scary thing is for me, when I saw this thing and he was taking off his wig, right? It felt disgusting. My skin is crawling now. My skin is fucking crawling. My skin is kind of crawling. I'm not sure if that's a condition, but the little packets inside the toupee, they feel like little spots or something, you know? It's making my skin crawl. I don't know what that is. But you can see the little packets of cocaine underneath the toupee. Oh no. Oh no. The staff member takes the packet out. He knows exactly what it is. He's got his little test kit to find out if it actually is cocaine. He cuts it open, and I'm guessing he's going to test it inside of his little test kit, and he's going to quickly find out that little white substance, that little white CD is definitely some cocaine inside of that toupee. But the funny thing is about these type of things, right? Most likely this went through a bunch of times, I'm guessing. This ain't the first time someone's done this. For sure somebody has done this before. Yeah, he's done it. He put it on the slab. It turns blue. I'm assuming it turns blue. That means cocaine, right? He's gonna get arrested. Now he's gonna get arrested, right? Oh no. Oh no. I think they're reading him his rights. I think they're reading him his rights now. Yeah, there he is there. It's got that famous picture that they love doing in fucking Central and South America, where they have you at this kind of like a press conference and they have all the cocaine they took outside of the hat. I don't know how many grams are each of those little capsules, but how many capsules I can count here? How many they fit inside? That's, by the way, pretty good technique to pack it all in. How many capsules do they fit in there? They fit in, well, I can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. They've been able to fit 19 of those little discs, or maybe say 20, let's say 20. 20 of those discs. And I'm guessing, well, how much would it be worth, do you think? How many grams would be in 20? 7? 10 grams? Not too sure, but whatever. It'll be a lot. They could probably fit a lot in there, because a lot of it isn't crushed as well. It's kind of all bricked up and shit. But I'm assuming most likely this is not the first time they've done this. Most likely these drug smugglers have been able to get through, because this is a pretty good hustle. Because when you go through the fucking machine, it usually, actually, to be fair though, when I went to the machine before, yeah, I think that's a trick. They probably trick you, because when I've been through that body scanner thing in the airport, you have to remove your hat. So I don't know why they didn't get him to remove his hat. Usually you just take off your hat, take off your hoodie and shit, and sometimes your shoes. So the fact that they let him go through that body scanner with his hat on may have been a sign that they knew something was up, but they wanted to kind of like, you know, let him go through with the hat on to make it look way more obvious that he had something there, because you would have seen the outline of the hat through the x-ray machine and the little packets of cocaine as he was going through. Absolutely horrendous scenes. He's definitely going to be doing some time, you'd imagine, off the back of that. Yeah, I think it's 20, right? I think that's 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 9, okay, 19 little packets there. 19 packets there, all under the toupee. That's a pretty good pack, bro. You have to be honest, these guys are really good at picking and packing. They're really good at fucking delivering and transportation of goods. Who would have guessed it? Drug dealers, drug smugglers, these type of dudes know what they're doing when it comes to packing as much things as possible into a very small compartment. But just the process of peeling that and cutting that and seeing the fucking balls, I'm not gonna lie, it makes my skin itch. I'm not sure what it is. It makes my fucking skin itch. So big up that guy, big up that guy, big up that guy. Talking about cocaine, big up the Colombian president, because I agree with this. Big up the Colombian president, big up the blood clot Colombian president. Curse your CNN. Cocaine is no worse than whiskey, Colombian president says. Colombian President Gustavo Petro said that cocaine is no worse than whiskey, as he suggested the global cocaine industry could be easily dismantled if the drug was legalized worldwide. And I fully agree. I've always believed in general, that's probably why I'm a big fan, or was a big fan, of Silk Road when it was around. I'm so happy, what's his name? Ross Ulbricht got freed and got pardoned by Trump. Absolutely amazing. But I'm a big believer that adults should be allowed to make their own choices when it comes to drugs and alcohol. And if you know about the amount of blood that's shed off the back of cocaine transportation, cocaine manufacturing, cocaine smuggling, the amount of people's lives that are lost, the amount of communities that are broken through the illegal trade of cocaine, then you would know that the only way to kind of solve that issue and to kind of spare people the tragedy of having to lose family members off of the back of the transportation and the manufacturing of it will be to make it legal, because people aren't going to stop using it. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, people aren't going to be stopping using these drugs, especially now in this like post-COVID world we're living in now, where everyone, I feel like, is trying their best to sort of like tap out from being present in everyday world, from taking part in whatever is going on outside, and from just kind of zoning out and being in their own kind of space. I think that they're kind of seeking out experiences, or they're seeking out chemical substances, Class A substances, to kind of allow them to tap out of all the shit that's going on. So the use of drugs is only going to become more popular the more life becomes harder for people, and the more people need an escape from their daily drudgery. So the only way to sort of deal with it and to sort of combat all of the drugs, all of the crime, all of the flipping deaths, all of the violence, would be to just make it legal. That would be the way to just kind of cut everything. And it would help in terms of drug safety and harm reduction. But they don't do it. And the thing that I've always realized as well, which is strange, especially in this country, where I think there's a statistic that says, like, especially London specifically, might be the highest users of cocaine across all European countries. London, the city, I think, has more people doing cocaine than actual European countries. And I think I remember there was one report that was saying that how the Houses of Commons toilets had like a super high percentage of their toilets had traces of cocaine in there as well. So it kind of permeates all parts of society, from the working class to the upper class. It's all over the place. And as they say, it's impossible to put that genie back in the bottle. So the only way to sort of deal with it, I would imagine, would be to legalize it, especially when you consider how damaging shit like alcohol is. I've only started to really realize it the older I've gotten, and the more that I'm seeing comedians like Bert Kreischer in real time, disintegrate over time. The more time I'm seeing streamers also kind of throwing their life away towards alcohol. One of them being that Joshua Block guy, wore the t-shirts, and how he's like in his mid-20s and he's got pancreatitis and shit. And I'm sure some of you have probably struggled with alcohol abuse, or for people in your family who have been alcoholics and shit. And that stuff, although it's not as lethal as stuff like cocaine, it's a bit more of a slow killer. It still kills. So the fact that alcohol is, you basically can drink as fucking much as you want. You could go to fucking, shops or supermarkets like Lidl and buy yourself a can of beer that's huge for less than £1. You could get some liquor for less than £5. But yet, people demonize Class A drugs and think that they're the problem. When in actuality, if you want to stop any sort of harm, just stop doing any drugs or any booze whatsoever. Just cut them all off completely. That's the only way to kind of avoid it. But if you're not going to do that, then the best way to do it would be to legalize it and to allow people to basically buy it when they want, have it when they want, and choose to have it when they want, instead of the government controlling what you can and cannot do. And then you have to go through, more nefarious methods to get a hold of stuff that you actually do want, which then leads to other issues as well. Continuing with the article here, it says cocaine is illegal because it's made in Latin America. Not too sure about that. I'm not sure if it's a Latin American conspiracy, but hey, let's let him rock. Cocaine is illegal because it's made in Latin America, not because it's worse than whiskey, the president said on Tuesday. Scientists have analyzed this, he claimed. The leftist leader, who assumed his office in 2020, has vowed to tackle drug trafficking and regulate drug use of illegal substances. However, since he came into power, Colombia's cocaine production has surged. Cultivation of coca leaves in Colombia increased 10% in 2023 from the previous year, while potential cocaine production reached a record of more than 2,600 metric tons, a 53% increase, the United Nations on Drugs and Crime said in October. Now, legalizing cocaine, probably somewhere like Colombia, is probably beneficial, you'd imagine, with the amount of crime that goes on there, with the amount of loss of lives that happen there with cocaine. But I also am certain, isn't this the same president who got caught recently with some transgender person outside? I think they were caught, stepping out on their relationship with some very popular transgender influencer out there in Colombia. Not too sure if it was a Colombian president or maybe it was a Brazilian one, but I remember that being a big topic on South American Twitter. I saw that being viral for a bit. I'm not too sure if this is the same guy, but if it is the same guy, then we know he likes to party. This is probably why he's got a vested interest in wanting to legalize cocaine, because he likes to party. Allegedly. Who knows? I'm not sure if it's him. It could be somebody else, but I remember that being a thing. I saw on social, or some president walking down the street holding the hands of some transgender person. Pretty proudly, it looked like. It didn't look like he cared about being seen outdoors with someone that wasn't his wife, let alone a transgender person. And everyone was talking about it being like a very big open secret amongst the people that lived there. It continues. In his remarks at the meeting Petro suggested that cocaine should be legalized, like alcohol to combat trafficking. I agree. If you want peace, you have to dismantle the business of drug trafficking. It could easily be dismantled if they legalized cocaine in the world. It would be sold like wine. Exactly. Imagine if we had like weed. Imagine if you had like cocaine shops like you have weed shops. So you have like cocaine cafes. They would be full of the most I think a cocaine cafe might be the worst place ever to go have a coffee. That might be one of the worst places ever. I think you won't be able to sell any food, number one, because no one will be eating there. And it'll be full of some of the most insufferable people ever. Rabbiting on, chewing off your ear, non-stop fucking talking, non-stop save the world conversations I'm sure some of you guys have all been involved in, where you're in a toilet cubicle somewhere or so at some afters and people are fucking yacked out of their mind talking about how they're going to save the world, change this, do that, plans to go here. It's like, bro, shut up. Always touching you, coming close within your physical space. Like, I don't know about that. I'm not sure about cocaine cafes. I've been in a weed cafe once in Amsterdam. That was pretty cool. I saw some pretty cool people in there that you want to hang out with and chill with. And I think weed kind of gives you a nice little high. It makes you giggly and shit. But I'm not too sure a cocaine cafe would be somewhere where I'd want to be seen. Whether you're buying it or not, like, you want to avoid that place like the fucking plague, honestly. It continues. Petro highlighted fentanyl, a synthetic drug at the heart of the opioid crisis in the USA, in contrast saying that it's killing Americans, but it's not made in Colombia. Fentanyl was created as a pharmacy drug by North American multinationals and those who use it to become addicted. His comments come nearly 2 weeks after the diplomatic standoff with President Donald Trump, after he blocked the landing of 2 U.S. military flights of deported immigrants, accusing the U.S. of treating Colombian migrants like criminals. Colombia later agreed to accept the deportees and deployed its own planes to assist their return after a flurry of threats that included steep tariffs and travel bans of Colombian nationals and the revocation of their visas of Colombian officials in the US. Colombia has been a major non-NATO ally to the US and for decades has been the closest partner in South America, working closely on anti-drug trafficking efforts. Cocaine is the fourth most consumed drug globally. God almighty. The fourth most consumed drug. Absolutely insane. I actually want to see what's the second and first most consumed drug. I'd want to know what that is. I wonder what the first and second most consumed drug is. World Drug Report, courtesy of the United Nations. What is the second and third? Do we have it here? What is it? Could you please tell us? Okay, cool. Cannabis remains the most widely used drug worldwide. That makes sense. 228 million users. Followed by opioids, 60 million users. Then amphetamines, 30 million. Then cocaine and ecstasy. Wow, I didn't know that. God damn it, bro. Opioids are fucking huge, innit? 60 million people use it. And these are only people who would respond to a fucking report or one of these fucking, polls. Most normal people don't respond to polls. But the ones that did, 60 million people are doing opioids. 60 mil. God damn it, bro. Weed makes a lot of sense because a lot of places it's legal. But 60 million is pretty scary. Pretty scary indeed. It continues. Serious medical complications can occur with its use, including cocaine use disorder, compulsive use of additive stimulants, and overdose. Adulteration of the drug with synthetic opioids such as fentanyl also contribute to the rise in the overdose deaths. Meanwhile, the NIH warns that alcohol can also lead to injuries and violence and alcohol poisoning in overdose with side effects and excessive uses. Yeah, whether or not it will ever be legal in anytime soon is probably unlikely. I think there's just too much of a stigma surrounding stuff like drugs, especially class A drugs like cocaine and shit for whatever reason. Especially when you consider how much people drink and shit. But I would love to live in a world where maybe a certain gram size is legal. to allow people to buy stuff safely and shit, and to kind of, again, to kind of curtail some of the violence. Because when you start doing some drugs and you start to do research and find out how these drugs are cultivated and how they get to your hands, it can really bum you out. It can really bum you out. It can really make you, maybe even put you off doing them, knowing how many lives have been lost to kind of get you a little baggie, to get you a little fucking 8-ball. But if you legalize it, you essentially remove all of those situations happening, and you're basically living in a world where you could be able to pop into a, you know, around the corner fucking bodega shop and pick up an 8-ball if so you required. Talking about 8-balls, what the fuck's going on with Justin Bieber, man? Talking about cocaine and 8-balls, what the fuck is going on with Justin Bieber? This is part of the reason that I've always wondered, right? I think it's a lot easier, obviously, to be a crackhead or to be a junkie when you're rich because you got the money to do it. But I think you also get a little bit of a benefit of doubt from the public. People don't seem to be as concerned about you as compared to like the regular person on the street. Like, if you start to go out a few times in a week, if you start to party really hard, if you start to fucking go crazy on the fucking booze and the drugs as a regular person, you have some people reaching out to you on your Instagram, on your messages, maybe give you a call as a regular person, concerned about your well-being, right? Sometimes annoyingly so. But then on the other, and you could just have a really crazy month. You might want to just splash out because it's your birthday. You might just want to have a crazy half of a year. But celebrities can get away with way more despite looking way worse. And you imagine why they look way worse is because, you know, Justin Bieber doesn't have a 9 to 5. He doesn't have to be anywhere. So he can essentially do those drugs every single day, no matter what, and be perfectly fine. But he's starting to look worse for wear. And I wonder if this is just a consequence of his age. Like, he's starting to grow up now. He's starting to, I guess he's maybe approaching his 30s, maybe. Not too sure. But he's starting to get to the age where it shows up now. Because I don't know what age it is, but there's an age where whatever you do on the weekends shows up on your face. When you're a certain age, maybe it's under 25, you could go out, you could go get absolutely blitzkrieged, you know, get absolutely yacked out of your brain, drink the whole fucking bar down, and go to work the next day and not look fucking smashed at all. If anything, just look tired. But there is an age where people can tell exactly what you've been up to in your face. Don't know what age it is, but people can tell. Okay, this guy's been doing some drugs. This guy's been on Adderall. This guy's been on the weed. This guy's been on the fucking booze. This guy's, I mean, they can just tell. They can read it in your face. And I guess for the sad thing with Justin Bieber is that you can see it in his face and you can see it in his body. He's extremely gaunt. Like, the clothes he's wearing now at the moment, his picture, the picture that went kind of viral on social of him walking down a sidewalk with his pants sagging and dragging down the floor. Like, literally, like, you know, he's probably on the last hole. He's probably on the last hole of his belt here and they're struggling to stay up. The shirts and jackets he's wearing are probably oversized and they're still making him look extremely big. You know, he's got hollowed out eyes here. He looks completely disheveled and like he's been up for fucking 17 days. So it's starting to show more. He can't really excuse it. But the really concerning thing is stuff like this. This video clip, not too sure where it was, outside of some fashion show somewhere. But look at how nitty-ish and look at how skittish he looks talking to somebody behind the scenes at some show somewhere. He kind of reminds you of how Chris Brown was when he was really, I guess, on the yak a lot and like twitching and moving around all over the place. Look at Justin Bieber as he's standing talking to this lady. You know you love me. I'll take the music off. But look at Justin. Look at him. He's sits out here grinning, licking his lips. Is that MDMA? I think that's MDMA, right? He's licking his lips a little bit. He's making faces. He's got glasses on inside. He looks extremely, extremely skinny. But yeah, he looks a mess, man. He looks a fucking mess. It's a real shame to see. But if he's enjoying himself, then I guess enjoy yourself. But god damn it, bro. Look at his face. Look at how skittish he looks. Look at the mouth movements involuntarily, the twitching, the inability to just stand still and talk to this person without moving around and touching himself all the time. God almighty. I wonder if it's MDMA. I wonder if it's coke. I wonder if it's ketamine. Maybe all of the above. Maybe some toupee as well. Maybe some toupee. But whatever it is, he's not looking the best at the moment. Justin ain't looking the best. But for some reason, when you're an artist, no one seems to care, really. You can seem to get away with absolute everything. But the reason why that makes sense, why this is happening, I saw this courtesy of Litzy, big up them on fucking Twitter. He's now hanging around with Burberry Eri. You know who Burberry Eri is? That's that kid with the fucking crazy mohawk that skates really well. He usually skates in some really cool, limited edition shoes and stuff and shows off and shit. I guess Burberry Eri is now working with Justin Bieber. Maybe he's styling him or something. Maybe just hanging around. But that might explain Justin Bieber's change in his style. He's now wearing a lot of Balenciaga. He's now wearing a lot of oversized shoot jackets and clothes. He's now got that whole Y2K aesthetic down. So it might make sense. The reason why he's wearing that stuff is because he's hanging around that Burberry Eri kid who's like a skateboarder and also a stylist, image consultant type of guy. So that might explain why Justin looks the way he does. This is the reason. Like, he's hanging around these kids. Like, when I saw this picture, I thought, oh, I knew exactly what was going on. And he's hanging around these guys. He's posting clips of himself watching Playboy Carti videos. He's opium. Justin Bieber's in his opium phase now. So yeah, man. I just wish him the best. Hopefully he kind of is able to handle his drugs. I think, like the great Tim Dillon once said, I think there's no problem with doing drugs and going crazy and having a good time. The issue is not being able to handle them. I think that when the older you get, the older you get, the more it becomes less cool and less of the more it becomes annoying. When not when somebody does drugs or drinks around you, it's when they can't handle it. When they start involving you in their fucking madness, they start putting their arm around you, spitting in your face and shit. It's like, look, if you're gonna do what you wanna do them. Just keep it away from me. But don't involve me in your fucking drama. Don't involve me in your fucking tornado of excess and fucking indulgence. Just do your shit. Have some level of dignity and chicness to what you do. Consume, enjoy yourself, but be able to handle it. Don't let it fucking go crazy and, impact your actual day-to-day life. Risk you losing your job, losing your family, annoying people, making people want to call the police on you. Like, just do it yourself. Do it in private. But nowadays, everyone wants to do stuff in public. Everyone wants to do stuff in excess, and it gets fucking crazy. So as long as Justin's doing it in some level of care and whatever, and he's not being annoying and shit, and he's looking after himself and harm reduction, all that malarkey, then I guess rock on, brother. I guess rock on. I guess rock on, brother. That's all you can say about it. Please rock on. But I'm hoping to God that he keeps his head on his shoulders. Moving on. This is courtesy of Hypebeast. It's regarding the Burberry Fall Winter 2025 collection, which I briefly watched on YouTube before I decided to record this podcast. And I have to say, I think the show itself was better than the still images. If you have a chance to watch the Burberry Fall Winter 2025 collection, courtesy of Daniel Lee, that took place at London Fashion Week just the other day, you would see the collection, the show. I think it's courtesy of their main Burberry YouTube channel. The show itself is really good, like as an actual video to watch. The soundtrack is amazing. I don't know who did the sound, who did the fucking soundtrack for the show. I'm not too sure who DJ'd it. I'm sure it's usually a DJ. I don't know who it was. Usually it's like Benji B. Is it Benji B? I don't know who it is. Whoever did the fucking soundtrack for the Burberry show fucking killed it. It's really good. And I think the clothes come across way better in motion than they do via the still image. When I saw the still images, not to be disrespectful, but the clothes look a little bit like M&S. Not to be disrespectful, but the clothes are giving M&S. The clothes are giving, like, I don't know, man, like heritage fucking cause. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but they don't look that good in the still image, but they look amazing in motion. They look really fucking good in motion. But a lot of people online, I've seen a lot of the reception say this is maybe one of Daniel Lee's best Burberry shows. But, it seems like it doesn't really seem to matter. It doesn't seem like he seems to be able to catch the zeitgeist anymore. No matter what type of cool campaigns that they're doing, even with this fucking Burberry night shit that they're doing at the moment, nothing seems to be fucking popping off of Burberry and Daniel Lee. I'm not too sure why. I'm not too sure if it's the clothes. I'm not too sure if it's him and his kind of baggage of how he got to Burberry with this whole allegations of him being maybe racist with stuff that happened in flipping in Bottega Veneta allegedly. Whether him as a personality, people not really rubbed the same way with. Whether or not it's a success of Matteo Blasi at Bottega before he left, that kind of overshadowed him. But it seems like no matter what they do, nothing seems to be hitting. Like, nothing seems to be hitting that well. And they have all the right influencers. They have, I think, all the right campaigns. The right photographers doing the campaigns. The shows, from what I've seen so far, when I watch them in full, look really well done. But the clothes, I think it comes down to, if you have to ask me, I think it comes out to the clothes. I think the clothes are just not that interesting. Legitimately not that interesting at all. You know, I don't know. I'm looking at look number 2 there. The scarf might be interesting here. Maybe again, this is a good use of the Burberry check in this sort of like a dress shape that this model's wearing in look number 3. That also has a matching scarf tucked into the belt. There's some good stuff here, but it's just, you know, I just shrug my shoulders at it. There's some nice stuff here actually. This guy's boots here on look number 5. I'm not too mad at the boots here. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not too mad at these boots. They're kind of giving me Vivienne Westwood. I don't know what that boot was called, that style, but they kind of look like something that Vivienne Westwood did in the past. That jacket, of course, is not too bad, but I do remember the pricing of Burberry is pretty crazy. I remember once I wanted to get that duck hat. I was talking about it on stream, and it was, I think, nearly $1,000 or something like that. Fucking crazy. So the pricing of Burberry maybe, you know, makes it a little bit out of reach of most people, I'd imagine. Or maybe most people who would buy clothes at that price range would rather go for clothes of a higher level than a Burberry. Maybe that might be also a part of their issue. It might not be all because people can't afford it. It might be because if you've got $1,000 to spend on a hat, you'd rather buy a hat from fucking Hermes or Zegna. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't go to fucking Burberry for it. But again, you know, they got the right celebrity endorsements, all that good shit. But the thing that I don't like for me about Burberry just looks like there's just too much fabric. There's a lot of cloth, you know. That's the immediate thing I get when I look at Burberry stuff. It's just there's so much cloth. So much cloth, you know? That's the only thing that I don't like about it. So much fucking cloth. This is quite nice actually, but unfortunately this look number 12, this dress or this kind of frilly top thing this person's wearing, it looks a lot like Phoebe Philo. I feel like there's something that Phoebe Philo done either for her namesake brand or for Celine that looks exactly like this. Something about this look number 12 looks exactly like something that Phoebe Philo has designed back in the past. But the rest of it, I don't know, man. The rest of it is just like, it's not that interesting. And I don't even think it's Daniel Lee's fault. I just think Burberry as a brand, as a house, is just dead, man. Like, it's just dead. There are just some brands that they're just dead. I don't think there's anything anybody can do to revive Burberry. I don't even think Matteo Blasi could revive fucking Burberry. I just think it's done. There's just nothing to be done really for it. It just isn't that interesting, really. It really isn't that interesting. Oh, that's an actor. I forgot his name. He's really good, this actor. Look number 16 is quite nice. I also like the actor as well. But I just think maybe it's more to do with Burberry itself as a brand and less to do with maybe the designers that are having an issue. Again, these boots are really nice. This boot as well in look number 18. This boot, it's got like a check print. It looks like it might be like a what you call it, like a Chelsea boot. It might come up just underneath the fucking knee. That's a really nice boot actually. It looks like it's got snake skin material, maybe some sort of snake reptilian material, but then it's also got a printed check on it. That's a really nice design of a boot. That looks really cool. That might be the best thing I've seen so far. Some of the scarves are actually quite decent. I'm not gonna lie. Some of the scarves are decent. The glasses on this model here, look number 19. I don't really mind them. Those really big, almost bat-shaped eyes glasses are not too bad. But like I said, it's just too much material. There's just way too much material. Like look at that leather jacket. Look how big it is. Like, there's just so much cloth, so much material. It just feels like there's too much of it personally for me. That's a really nice jacket actually. This jacket with like the faux fur collar thing going on. That bag he's carrying too in look number 22 isn't too shabby. But I don't know. There's a lot of it that I don't really have a strong feeling against it. And I also feel like a lot of it looks like stuff I've seen in other past collections that Daniel Lee has done for Burberry. I don't feel like it's the first time I've seen it. You know, some of the silhouettes, some of the shapes, it kind of looks like it's a slight evolution on things I've seen in previous seasons, but tweaked, maybe. Maybe I could be talking out my ass here, but it doesn't really look that interesting in the slightest. This is actually quite nice. This is actually quite nice. I don't mind. This is look number 32. It almost looks like crushed velvet. It almost looks like, you know, back in the day when your grandma would have like really heavy curtains and they'd be made out of this sort of fabric, like sort of like crushed velvet, suede, embossed flower type of design thing. Really gaudy, really ugly looking. If anything, you know what this reminds me of? This suit in look number 32. This reminds me of Alessandro Michele's Gucci. Very similar to that sort of, you know, that almost kitschy kind of a vibe. You know, where you go to your nan's house and it's covered in knickknacks and haberdashery all over the place. That's what this kind of jacket looks like. I would have maybe teamed it up with a lighter color top. I don't think the black works with that. Maybe I would have had it be white, you know, to kind of make it pop a little bit. But still, I think that's a really nice suit. Look number 32. I'm not mad at that. But a lot of it, you know, I'm not really that bothered about in the slightest at all. I just look at that and think, there's some good stuff in here and there. Oh, that's a nice jacket there. That is that. I guess you'd call that a fighter jacket, a plain jacket. I forgot what it's called. Is it a fighter pilot jacket style with this what's this? What's it called? Pile shirling fur on the inside here lining. Is that a fur lining or is that a jacket inside of the leather jacket? I wonder. But that's a nice little jacket there. Not bad at that. Look number 37. Look number 38 is actually pretty good too. But again, is it because the look is good or because the model looks really hot? Because the model looks great in this look here. She's absolutely killing this look with these massive long riding boots all the way past her knees. This fucking amazing, really amazingly cut motorcycle jacket, double-breasted. Looks like it's got crinkles all over it. Really big collar, a nice scarf that's tucked in underneath. So the model makes it look really good as the styling. But are the clothes good? You know, I don't think so. I'm not really too sure. That's actually quite nice, actually. Look number 39. I ain't mad at that. This pajama set. I feel like there's been a lot of that recently in the last couple of years. A lot of brands having wearable daytime pajama sets, and this is almost done in the same sort of thing. And then you also got this kind of curtain sofa design print on this trench coat, which I'm not too mad at as well. It kind of gives it again this faux fur velvet finish, but it looks like it's brushed cotton or something. I'm not too mad at that. Again, that same fighter pilot jacket thing. This is actually another good example of are these good clothes or is the model really hot and it's a really good look? Not too sure. Look number 41 isn't too shabby either. Those boots are definitely the winner, to be fair. Whatever these boots look like in real life, those boots are definitely the winner. The boots that he's designed, Daniel Lee or whoever is his team, they've killed it. These boots are really nice. These fucking Chelsea boot things, I ain't mad at in the slightest. I think they look really good. And oh yeah, that's a famous model as well. I forgot her name. Look number 42. 43 I think is also a daughter of somebody. I'm not too sure who though. But yeah, there's some good stuff here. There's a famous actor. And look number 46, there's Naomi Campbell. That Naomi Campbell look is quite nice, to be fair. Naomi Campbell look is actually really gorgeous. I'm not going to lie. That's actually a really nice jacket. That is well by Naomi Campbell here. Purple, it pop, you know, purple. Those hues pop off well on black skin. And it's got this really nice frills at the bottom here that kind of give the jacket this great kind of motion, I guess, when she's moving, shapes and shit. That's not mad. Oh, another actress. Oh shit, I remember her. I watched her in a series recently too. Look number 47. A lot of fucking actors in this runway look. Again, another example of, you know, does this old lady make this outfit look amazing or are the clothes amazing? I'm not too sure. But yeah, there's some decent stuff here and there, but nothing that really moves me, you know? Nothing that moves me or nothing that will move the needle. This jacket dress thing is gorgeous. I think we're gonna see a lot of people wearing this. This is really fucking cool. It's like a trench coat, but it's split into slits or strips towards the bottom. It gives it this really nice fraying effect as the model is moving, you'd imagine. That looks fucking gorgeous. That's really fucking good. That's really good, actually. That might be the standout piece, that. And I think Naomi Campbell had it obviously in purple. Look number 52, not too mad at as well. So yeah, there's some decent stuff here and there, but again, nothing that really kind of grabs me, you know, by the scruff of the neck. Just some standard stuff here and there. But again, maybe one of his best collections so far. Again, there we go. There's a better look at the boots. There's a better look at the boots there. They look really cool. I like them as well. I like them a lot. I think the boots look really fucking good. I'm actually going to double check Vogue.com and see if I can get a close look at those boots. This leather look is actually quite nice. And look number 60. That leather suit look is actually quite decent. And another look here again. But yeah, too much fabric for me. Too much fabric for me. I'm not really that enamored by what I've seen so far, courtesy of Burberry. But I want to double check Vogue.com to see what the actual boots look like. But I do recommend, if you haven't seen it, definitely go check out the Burberry Fall 2025 fashion show on their actual channel, because I think it actually looks way better in motion. I think the still images don't do the collection justice personally. I think it looks way better in motion, but I don't really like it personally myself, and I'm not sure why I don't like it. Do I not like it because I don't like Daniel Lee? Has Daniel Lee lost? Is Daniel Lee kind of like going through his fucking Ricardo Tisci moment where no matter what he designs, no matter how hard he tries, nothing seems to hit. Nothing seems to hit the way it used to hit when he was at fucking Bottega Veneta. I don't think he's been able to ever really recapture the magic of that time. I'm not sure why that is. Is it because he's just not that designer? He was never that guy in the first place. Like, what is going on? Why has he been unable to recapture the magic of the time when he was at fucking Bottega Veneta? I don't really understand. It's fucking bizarre to me, honestly. It really is fucking bizarre to me. But let me double check because I want to see if I can find these boots. Let me see if I can find these boots. Let me just go on the Burberry collection here, courtesy of Vogue, and let's see if they've got these boots here so I can get a closer image, a closer look at them, because I think the boots for me are the standout piece of this collection. I think everything else is a little bit meh, personally. Let's kind of scroll down. Let's see if we got a little close, because they usually have close-ups here. Oh no, okay, they don't have close-ups. Unfortunately, no close-ups just yet. Let's actually look at the blurb here, the review, courtesy of Burberry for the 425 review. Bring up Luke Leach. What they say here? Could Daniel Lee be Burberry's knight in shining armor? Following last year's quieter show, Britain's blue chip luxury brand went full throttle again. At Tate Britain's Derby Galleries josted with a blockbuster curation of celebrities and classic emerging. I quite like that, to be fair. Tate Britain's fucking is a good space. Yet hype wherever he's generated can only be propel fashion business so far. The product itself must also fire desire. Lee painted this collection in the multiple commercial categories framed within a compelling fantasy. That fantasy, he said backstage, had grown from his viewing of Saltburn. I really enjoy the characters. Really? This is inspired by Saltburn? Huh. Really? Okay. I thought Saltburn was a bit of an overhyped movie for me. Okay, decent, but eh. I really enjoyed the characters and how the people lived in this old, incredible mansion house and dressed in a really eccentric way for dinner and had crazy parties. I'm not going to lie, that collection didn't give me Saltburn or crazy parties. It didn't even give me sex. And a lot of Saltburn is sex. You know? I didn't even get sex in that collection at all. Huh. The whole thing was super twisted. And this kind of bohemian spirit was the kind of energy that we wanted to portray in the show. From the Bride's Head revisited in the Downton Abbey via the Gosford Park and Bridgerton, that Tatler narrative is globally recognized. The rendered is perfect Burberry material. I don't think it's perfect personally. Lee approached it by applying a country decor to Burberry's house codes. Quilted coats, skirts came in dappled with a darkly chintzy sheen finish floral. Smock dresses and narrow double-breasted suiting were cut with wallpaper adjacent jewel-toned patterned damask velvets. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Wallpaper, yeah, it's definitely gave, those coats definitely had a wallpaper curtain old granny sofa type of vibe. Those were quite nice, those jackets, but not a lot more was nice. Knit dresses look like massive fringe reefs on twisted yarns and looks that were left with half shag pile, half English sheepdog. The tapestry tops portrayed rural scenes, hunting scenes, and a valiant knight laying into a dragon. The house trench was cut in a floral, Itkat-esque print, and then with fringe as finely as a curtain of tassel. Elsewhere, Lee approached country classics through a house lens and applied multiple twists. In menswear, the pulsating silk robes, pajamas of Jeremy Street's conical outfitters were translated into a louchy seguin of daywear, jacket pajama suits, and whole overcoats with the knitted shell collars. Yeah, those pajama sets were actually quite nice. Those little silk robe ones, that whole look was actually quite decent. I could imagine wearing that out on a night out with some nice shoes is quite liberating, because that's a really comfy outfit. It looks very chic, but it's also very, very cozy. Crop trench coats in leather were hand tooled with more destructive florals. Checks were balanced, featuring on footwear and a very horse trails, pleated skirts, and in some softly contrasting and softly tailored opening of outwear pieces. Crucially, the looks that furnished Lee's country house contained multiple pieces that you could see being extracted from the runway and placed conveniently on the street. So he actually had pieces from his actual house on there. Okay, cool, I guess. Things are definitely improving, he says. I think we're all in a positive place, said Lee of the company's much scrutinized business performance. Yeesh, things are improving. That's famous last words. Sinead O'Connor dominated the soundtrack, singing Troy, Who Will Rise, Who Will Return, The Phoenix from the Flame, Creativity in the house has become questionable, disposable commodity at so many buffeted in-house fashion houses lately. The Burberry collection demonstrated the virtues of weathering the storm. I think it's pretty diabolical, to be fair. I don't think it's that good at all. I think Vogue are being very soft and using kid clubs. I don't think it's that great. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's not there long term. I'm not going to lie. This is not that great. And if the sale figures aren't doing what they're meant to be doing, and you know, some of these brands, some of these houses, they don't really care about if you're doing great stuff. If the stuff that you're designing is amazing and touching or connecting with fashion Twitter or people like myself, they just care about the numbers. And if the numbers aren't numbering, then this guy will be out of a job pretty soon, because it seems like he's lost his magic. It seems like he's going down the Riccardo Tisci way. Riccardo Tisci, I don't think, is not trying, but every time he does try to design stuff, it feels like he's stuck in, I don't know, 2020 or something like that. I don't know what's going on there. It just feels like he's never been able to recapture the magic of his time at Givenchy, and it feels like Daniel Lee's doing the same thing. He's never been able to recapture the magic that he had at Bottega Veneta. That could be because he was never that guy. Maybe the whole reason why he's done so well at Bottega early on was because he had a team of people like Matteo Blasi designing for him, you know, to get his vision across. But he needs to somehow recapture that magic, because it feels like people are only recognizing him as a sick designer because of his time at Bottega, not because of what he's done at Burberry. Because so far it's been largely forgettable, in my opinion. It's been largely forgettable, and it's been so forgettable that Burberry are having to do these gimmicks. They're having to do these Paris Fashion Week-esque gimmicks, marketing gimmicks, to kind of garner some response or some reaction from the public for what they're doing. And in this particular show, for the fall winter show, they had somebody dressed up as a Burberry Knight, roaming around the runway, sitting front row at the show, taking pictures with some of the, you know, fashion glitterati like fucking Anna, whatever, Wintour and shit, which, you know, is what it is, but I think shows a desperation. Maybe shows that they kind of seen what Jack Moose has been doing. Jack Moose has been killing it when it comes to marketing and social media in terms of garnering some attention for their brand, but the clothes haven't been matching. So maybe Daniel Lee is hoping that with this sort of marketing approach, it can maybe help to, you know, to justify his wage and his salary and what he's doing there, and might actually help with the bottom line, but which I don't think it will, to be fair. But they at least they're trying something, I guess. But I feel like this is very, very, very unbecoming if you're Burberry, to have this kind of mascot on the runway taking pictures and shit, standing there taking pictures of people. I think it's really, really corny. I don't like it in the slightest. You got Nicholas Holt there, Jodie Turner Smith taking pictures of selfies with a Burberry Knight. I don't like it. I personally don't like it in the slightest. I think it's pretty shit, pretty lame. And again, goes to show that the clothes on the runway aren't really doing what they need to be doing, because you have to take other things out of the runway to give you a distraction and to allow you to fall in love with the clothes, because the clothes are doing what they're meant to be doing. Not for me personally, not for me, but I guess at least they're trying. They're trying. What they posted on here on the Instagram, who was at the show. You got some celebrities here that were at the Burberry show for the fall winter 2025. I think you got Brooklyn Beckham and his wife, Nicole, what's her name? Nicola Petz, that were there. I'm not really mad at that anorak that he's wearing, to be fair. I'm not mad at that. Although the anorak he's wearing wasn't really shown on the runway, was it? I feel like I didn't see this on the runway. Interesting thing to give him. He was obviously given this to wear during the show, this kind of half zip, this quarter zip anorak thing, but he wasn't really on the show, was it? I don't really know what this is about. I'm not gonna lie. Let's go here. There's a picture. There's Nicholas Holt wearing something as well from Burberry. Who's this actress? What's her name? That's Kim Cattrall. Oh, it's Kim Cattrall from Sex and the City. Okay, cool. I didn't recognize her. Okay. That's Kim Cattrall. Who's this guy here? This guy is called Concrete. I don't know who Concrete is. Oh, that's the guy from what's that thing called? What's that movie? Michael Ward, big up. I guess this guy is like Burberry's ASAP Rocky, I'm assuming, right? That's their ASAP Rocky. That's their cool black guy that they want to kind of make the clothes look good. But I don't know, man. The jacket looks like it's too big for him. I don't like the outfit at all. I don't like the outfit at all. The jacket I hate, but he looks good at least. I don't know who this lady is. Who's this lady? That is someone called Cami Mendes. Cami Mendes, also in a look that I despise. It looks like a trench coat without the sleeves. Yuck. There's the Burberry Knight. Does Burberry Knight have his own Instagram account? I'm assuming he does, right? Or no? That would have been a good idea. Maybe give the Burberry Knight their own Instagram account. Burberry Knight with wearing a knight's armor with what's that? Like a scarf. Yeah, it's a little bit too literal for me. I don't like this. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little bit too literal. I'm not liking having mascots at shows. I'm not gonna lie. And who are these people? They're from Stranger Things. I forgot their names. And I don't know who this guy is. What's his name? This is Thomas Doherty. Okay, cool. I guess, isn't it? Not the most glitziest of celebrities on the front row, but still, I guess better than nothing, right? I guess better than nothing when it comes to this malarkey. But brand ambassador as well. Who's this? Bright at Tate. Brand ambassador Bright at the Tate Britain. Who's Bright? Who are these people? Who's this? His name's Bright. I guess this is a K-pop star, right? Yeah, he looks Korean to me. So his outfit's quite nice. I don't mind that. That's a decent enough outfit. And then this is who? Model Rosie Huntington Whiteley also was there as well. Her outfit is not too shabby either. I ain't mad at that. Is that a jumpsuit? I'm not sure if that's a jumpsuit, a check jumpsuit. I ain't too mad at that in the slightest. And yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. What can you do? That was Burberry Fall Winter 2025, courtesy of Vogue and Hypebeast. You can find the full pictures obviously on Vogue Runway, and it's going to be obviously more available on their Instagram as well. Although I would love to know who did the fucking who did the soundtrack. I thought the soundtrack was really fucking good. And obviously on their stories they've got more images of the collection itself. Let's see if someone actually took any pictures of the stage, if there's anything from the tag section. Yeah, there's some videos and clips here from the actual show itself, so maybe we might get some images. Where's this from? Who's this? This is from Burberry themselves. Is it got a bit of the music here playing? Yeah, there you go.
I remember it. Dumping in a rainstorm, sitting in the long grass in summer, keeping warm. I remember it.
Yeah, I thought the soundtrack was fucking beautiful personally.
Every restless night.
The blurb.
We were so young,
think of them as a weekend escapes. It's what the great Friday night exits from London to the countryside for long rainy walks and to disconnect in the great outdoors. It's the day trip to the Grand Stanley home, says Daniel Lee. Presented in London at Tate Britain, a fitting backdrop for the celebration of British creativity, Daniel Lee's latest collection is inspired by the weekends at the country, long rainy walks in the great outdoors, and interiors of Grand Stanley homes, rendering coats, scarves, evening wear, day wear, and suits in a mix of twisted fabrics by British makers. The collection is grounded in Burberry's values of design, innovation, and skill. So why is he talking about Saltburn? He says this design is inspired by Saltburn, but it's designed by outdoor walks. Make your mind up, brother. Make your mind up. If it's outdoor walks, I get it. It does look like it, but it doesn't look like Saltburn to me. It doesn't look like Saltburn to me at all. It looks like outdoor walks. I get the outdoor walks thing. I get the great outdoors. I get the weekend escapes. I get all that shit. But it doesn't look like Saltburn. It doesn't scream sex. It doesn't scream party time. It doesn't even scream fun. Oh, that look is definitely, I've definitely seen that look on the screen now at Phoebe Philo. She had something like this sell at the site, exact copy of that. I'm not gonna lie, that clutch or the scarf is nice. Actually, the little flower, that little fucking the little flower on the jacket on the lapel, I think that's a really nice detail. I'm sure that's something they're gonna be selling, but that's a really nice little touch there on the lapel. I'm not mad at that as well. This guy's look is really nice too. This actor's look here. He looks amazing. I think he's in Gangs of London, this guy, this actor here. This black guy with the bleached hair at the top. You think he's in Gangs of London. But yeah, it's not for me, man. But I'm also not the biggest Burberry fan. I'm not going to lie. I'm not the biggest Burberry fan. I think the last time I was into Burberry might have been like Christopher Bailey era. Because I remember he did some amazing leather jackets. Like I still have that as a grail of mine. That's still something I want to buy later on in life, like the legit copy, a legit version of that jacket, because I think I may have had like I think there was a Zara version, yeah. So that Christopher Bailey at Burberry made this leather jacket that had this amazing sleeves that were kind of like shrunk and skinny and long, and it was cut in a particular, it's like this leather motorcycle jacket, incredible, biker jacket, sorry, really great leather, And it did so well that I think Zara did a copy of it, and I think I got it. I think I purchased it, and it was like elongated sleeves, and it had like a barbed wire along the cuff hem here. Really cool design. But I remember Christopher Bailey Burberry being really fun, be really good. A lot of pieces there that I have in my fucking Grail list. But that's the only time I really paid attention to fucking Burberry. I haven't really paid attention to it ever since. And I've had no reason to, because the clothes haven't really been that interesting to me in the slightest. But like I said, look at how much better the stuff looks in motion. Look, again, hot model. Like, she looks amazing. The walk is fucking fantastic. But the clothes look so much, even this looks pretty gaudy, right? This tunic dress thing. But the stuff looks so much better in motion. But still, is it enough to warrant the price tag? I don't think so, you know? But it does look way better in motion. Everything looks better in motion when it comes to Burberry. But the still images make it look a little bit gaudy, a little bit flat, a little bit stale, a little bit frumpy, dare I say, and not really that interesting. But it looks way better when the models are walking down the runway. Absolutely, yeah. I like it. And some of the walks aren't even that great. Like, this model's walking. Some of the walks aren't the greatest, but they look way better in motion. I ain't mad at it. That girl looks like Florence and the Machine. But yeah, big up Burberry regardless. Do we have any looks from the outside out there during Burberry? Maybe we might have some actual last minute looks here from the outside. I'd love to see what was going on out there in the streets with fucking Burberry. Do we have anything here? Coach of London Fashion Week shit. Let's double check this, and then we can move on. And I want to actually show you some clips from the Berlin Fashion Week, because I want to see what people are wearing outside in Berlin. Anything happening at Burberry? We got backstage at Burberry. We got capes and shit. We got the scenes. We got street style shows. Okay, we got street style from Phil Yo at Couture. But we've got no street style from London yet. Maybe because London Fashion Week is... No, London Fashion Week's finished already, isn't it? So we should already have some street style slideshows already, but nothing so far. Okay, cool. Nothing so far. We've got some other collections that I might actually do reviews of later on, like Masha Popov and stuff. And I think I saw Simone Rocha there. I might have to take a look at, because I'm a fan of some of those brands. And I think there's also what's his fucking name? Stefan Cook as well. Did a pretty good collection I want to actually go through as well, because I'm a big fan of some of the stuff that Stefan Cook does as well. But yeah, that was it for Burberry for winter 2025. Continuing on the fashion tip. Berlin Fashion Week happened. It's been and gone. It's not something that I could kind of go back and review. But I wanted to check out some of the street style pictures taken during Berlin Fashion Week, because I feel like Berlin's a weird place. Because Berlin, I feel like there's a lot of people in there that are into fashion. I think there's a burgeoning fashion industry. I also love the fact that there's a lot of fashion brands that are from Berlin that exist only in Berlin. I feel like they've got their own little kind of insulated kind of scene. It almost was a little bit like in Scandinavia, the same sort of thing. They have their own brands that they kind of love and adore, that they wear head to toe. And they've got their own little scene that isn't trying to be London, isn't trying to be Paris, isn't trying to be Milan or New York. It's just their own thing. And I think Berlin does the same thing as well. But the weird thing about Berlin is that Berlin, when I was first going there to club, the whole allure about Berlin was that it was a city with no judgments. You could go there and wear whatever you wanted to wear, pajamas, boxer shorts, nothing at all, a suit, some jeans, tracksuits, shorts, and no one would look at you twice. It wouldn't really impact on your ability to get into a club or not. And it was just about the strength of your character and how cool you are and the things that you're into, as opposed to your clothes. You weren't being judged on your clothes and the brands that you're wearing or weren't wearing, which is kind of the complete opposite of what it is in London. So that was part of the allure. So it always kind of interested me how people that work in fashion kind of posit that, right? How they kind of deal with the fact that they live in a city that's known for its grunge, kind of like dirty, non-care, like pretending not to care aesthetic, but then you're into brands. You know, you're into fashion, you're into style, you're into clothes in general. How do you posit that? So I want to get to look at some of these street style pictures and see what people in Berlin are wearing who are into fashion, because I can't imagine what they look like. Because everyone that I've seen that wears, because the people that I see that are kind of into fashion in Berlin are like streetwear kids. The kids that wearing, like, you know, those beanies that don't flip up, the Arc'teryx beanies, Arc'teryx jackets, North Face, you know, big jeans, para boots, wallabies, you know, those kids. I see those kids all the time wherever I go, or skaters. you know, that wear the fucking dime or fucking palace head to toe. But you don't really see a lot of like fashion kids and shit. That's probably why I really would like to go to multi-sex, that club night, that is kind of geared or kind of centered around or promoted towards fashion people. I'd love to go to multi-sex because it seems like they're mostly people that work in the industry of fashion or keep a shit up, you know, or have a passion for fashion. That would be quite a good place to see, because when I go to my raves in Berlin, they're usually full of people who look like they haven't washed for 7 days, you know. They couldn't even pronounce Byredo, you know. They have no idea what a Korean skincare regimen is. So I'm interested to see what some of these people look like. So let's take a look here at some of the people who were out there during Berlin Fashion Week stepping. We've got this guy here in a look that is really interesting. He's got on what you call tailored trousers with a cinch on the middle here that are cut into shorts. I'm not too mad about that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not too mad at that. I'm not liking that at all. I think it probably would have benefited just having regular trousers. I don't think that works. The shorts with the boots with the trench and that jumper don't work. I don't really think so. I would have personally just gone for the regular trousers. I think that would have made the look look way better. But I'm not mad at the glasses or the hair. So he's doing what he's doing. Let me pause this auto video, which I fucking hate from Vogue. There's another guy here wearing this is an outfit that I definitely would wear. He's got an Alpha Industries bomber jacket on, underneath a baggy bomber jacket, underneath a baggy hoodie with a baggy t-shirt. The neck hole is all fucking skewered all over the place. And then I love his chain, actually. The chain is actually pretty nice, a necklace. Not sure if that's homemade. That's a really nice silver necklace with a massive paperclip on one end as well. I'm not sure if that's to extend it or to make it bigger. Who knows? The glasses are also pretty cool. And then, of course, the hat that's kind of bent super hard. I'm not too mad at that at all in the slightest. And the classic fashion person pose. Always on the iPhone. Always texting, right? Always DMing, right? Always on the social medias. Always, always, always. And it looks like, is that a scarf there around the waist? Maybe that's a scarf belt. I'm not too mad at that as well. That's actually a good idea. It looks like a scarf belt here that wraps around his waist here. Not too bad at that. And then we also have this person who's carrying a Balenciaga bag. I'm not too. The jeans I hate with the Balenciaga XL shoes. Continuing on, this girl's white jacket is really nice. Without the collars, I think it looks really nice. I think it kind of complements her skin with how pale she is. I think it looks really fucking cool there. That redhead, she's killed it there. I'm not mad at that as well. The wallet chain, that's a really cool wallet chain. The squares with the circles inside it, or with the circles tearing into it, and that's a really nice distressed leather jacket also. There's another look here. This guy's wearing a hoodie that's got a detachable hood. That's an interesting design, isn't it? A hoodie with detachable snap button hoods. And everyone seems to have like an oversized, really warm jacket, I guess because it's so cold over there in Berlin. Everyone seems to have some sort of warm overcoat thing going on there. The big glasses with the long trench coat. I'm never going to be mad at this look. I know it's a bit overdone, right? The fucking, shoulder to fucking ankle trench overcoat thing. I know it's very overdone, this look. I know there's a ton of, especially in London. Yeah, I feel like I see a ton of girls wearing like dark, camel, green kind of overcoats and shit. But I'm never going to get tired of it. It's a classic look. It's a classic fucking outfit. I think every person, regardless of gender, should have this look in your wardrobe. It's an easy way to kind of look stylish without trying, you know. Because it looks like she might she might have a jumpsuit underneath that. So you've got that nice trench coat, jumpsuit underneath it. It automatically chics up your outfit. It makes it look casual. You know, you got a really casual outfit. It kind of smartens it up a bit. And obviously the nails and the rings as well also look pretty sick. I ain't mad at that. That girl's jacket as well in the pink is really kind of cool too, with the fur trims on the lapels and on the cuffs. That's probably the standout jacket. I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably on the lookout for this. I'm probably gonna once I fucking gain access back to my fucking Vinted, because I've been locked out of it for some reason. I'm probably gonna have this. I'm probably gonna be on the hunt for one of these starter jackets. This looks really hard. He's got an NFL one. I don't know what team this is. Maybe it's the Giants. But it's a really fucking nice jacket. I've got my eye on a few of these, so I'm gonna have to keep an eye out on these starter jackets. But this looks really cool, and I think this might be Gentle Monster glasses. I think Gentle Monster. I think so. Or Gentle Monster or Fug Club. I think this might be or maybe it's a collaboration actually. It looks like a Fug Club logo. that Korean brand. So that looks pretty sick. I love the NFL starter jackets. This purple overcoat thing as well is fucking lush. That looks really fucking cool. That necklace is absolutely crazy. Look how massive those links are. Look, this is something that Luebe or JW Anderson would definitely design. I ain't mad at that at all. There's a cool belt. Okay, this is the nice little detail on the tie. Loads of pins and badges on the tie itself. That's actually quite cool. Oh, look at those ballerina pumps in the cat. Is that a leopard print? Not too mad at that as well. With the jeans and the massive fur coat. That's not too shabby of a look there. Again, so many trench coats in it. Everyone's got a trench or an overcoat. There are loads of them, people with them. That's with the hoodie underneath. Oh, that's a really nice bag. That's a really nice biker jacket. She killed this as well. That's a really cool look with the skirt as well. Not too mad at that. I actually like this. Although this look has also been done to death, I actually love the skirt over the jeans look. Something I definitely would consider doing. It's very punk, you know. It's very cool. I'm not mad at that as well. She's got this tartan Burberry check. Is that actually a Burberry skirt over the dress? I'm not sure if it is. That's really cool. It's got the Burberry check here and other bits as well, spliced in between over the jeans, and of course the bomber jacket on top. I ain't mad at that as well in the slightest. That's another. I think this is a classic Berlin look. This look here, look number 10, is like classic Berlin. Like this camo bomber jacket, it could be Raf Simons. It's probably just a regular camo jacket with the fucking Adidas track pants, the Jeremy Scott train. Are they Jeremy Scotts? They look like Jeremy Scotts, but this looks like somebody that you'd see as soon as you step out of Neukölln or you walk around certain places. You'll see a girl with dyed hair and a crazy mismatched outfit like this: pink shoes, blue track pants, grey camo bomber jacket. You know, all over the place. But it somehow works. You know, it somehow, and is that a Gucci bag? Yeah, some sort of Gucci bag here. It somehow works. No match or anything going. It's a black jumper, white shirt, light blue track pants, pink and black trainers, but somehow it works. Somehow it all works all together. Love it. This look is actually pretty decent too. I'm not mad at that as well with this guy with the square rim glasses and the flare jeans. Another track pant here. Was that Puma track pants? I'm not mad at that. That necklace is fucking crazy though. That necklace is the one. Wow. Look at that piece on the necklace. What is that? It's like a fly or bird fly or something. I don't know what that is. But that is amazing. Look at the gems on that. That is so fucking cool. I'm not mad at that in the slightest. This lady's outfit is also pretty decent with the riding boots. She also was killing it. Someone with a Harley Davidson leather jacket here. Again, more. This is, I guess, it's again quintessential Berlin. A massive. That is a really nice leather jacket. That's one of the leather jackets that you'd probably find in the vintage shop somewhere in Berlin, but you'd have to look. You'd have to go through a million fucking vintage shops. That's a fucking good leather jacket. Fucking hell, mate. With the pile lining. That looks cozy than the motherfucker. That is a really nice leather jacket. Oversized, of course. Everyone with the fucking flared jeans. I think she's wearing a Bottega. Are they like the puddle boots? I think there might be puddle boots here. Bottega puddle boots. I'm not too sure who makes that bag. I'm not really too familiar on my handbag knowledge isn't the best, but that handbag is pretty nice as well. This person also looks really cool with the clutch. Not too mad at that as well. Another guy here, more fucking bootcut jeans. That jacket's also pretty decent too. I'm not mad at that in the slightest. Someone wearing some clogs here. Oh, the clogs and the matching, the clogs with the cow print, I guess, or something. How are you gonna call that material? With the matching bag. Oof. Kind of hard. I ain't mad at that in the slightest. This lady's jacket's also quite nice as well. But yeah, some nice stuff here. Berlin Fashion Week, no prize. I don't see these people when I'm out there. Maybe fashion people aren't the ones going to techno parties. Maybe. Who knows? But I feel like I don't see none of these clean looking fashion people when I go out there. All I see are fucking skaggers like me. Oh, that's actually a decent look. I'm not mad at that. The jean shorts over the jeans. I ain't mad at that in the slightest. It looks a bit mad. Okay, is that Charles Jeffrey? Okay, that's Charles Jeffrey Loverboy denim jacket with all the squiggles on top of it. I don't know if there's some matching pants, but I ain't mad at those jean shorts over the jeans. I'm not mad at that in the slightest. I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at those jean shorts over the jeans. Those three ladies also look pretty decent too. Cool little crew there. Not mad at that. Oh, those girls' boots there in the middle. I love those. Wherever those boots are, they're really nice. Those girls' boots right there are really fucking nice. That chunky sole, the fucking shape of them. Yeah, she's stepping. This girl's stepping here. She's stepping with that fucking faux fur jacket. She is stepping. Oh, this black girl's also stepping. Yeah, people are dressing pretty well out there in Berlin, surprisingly. And I'm only saying that because I've been there a few times myself. I'm not being mean. Some people, you know, if you've been out there, you know what I mean. People out there usually aren't dressed the best, but I think so far, courtesy of this Vogue street style thing in Berlin Fashion Week, these guys look really, really fucking good. And it's a shame I don't see them when I'm out there, because all I see are skagheads like me. All I see are skagheads like me. Definitely favorite looks. Definitely this girl there with a camo bomber jacket and those turquoise jeans or those turquoise pants. Obviously, this girl with the skirt over the jeans is also pretty hard. But I really want one of these jackets. I'm gonna try and keep my eye out for a starter jacket like this, because these are really fucking cool. These starter jacket things are absolutely amazing, and I need some in my collection. I need some in my collection ASAP, if you don't mind. If you don't mind. Cool. Moving on. So, I spoke a little bit about the whole cocaine situation out there in Colombia, right? I mentioned how, you know, the president wants cocaine to be legalized. It's no worse than whiskey and blah 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 blah. Well, recently, just the other week actually, a DJ in Berlin called Kasper Marott, who was playing there, I think either Panorama Bar or Berghain, I'm not too sure which one it was, unfortunately collapsed in the booth. And it was kind of big news on my side of social media, especially on the Berghain, on the Berghain community subreddit and a few other places. And I also saw people, ton of people talking about it in the Berlin Music Lovers Telegram group. Make sure you definitely join those two places for updates on Berghain stuff, because those guys are always on top of it, always updating you on how the queue is going, all that malarkey. And there was a lot of confusion going on, a lot of speculation in terms of what was happening. But the general gist of what I saw people saying online was that they assumed it was some sort of like drug overdose or something, right? Which I didn't really have that much of a problem with, right? It's just, you know, they're DJs, you're playing one of the best clubs in the world, you're having a fucking blast, you know, you might get a little bit lit, you might get a little bit crazy. It kind of isn't that big of a deal. But I guess some people were a bit disturbed, because I guess he really did faint at the desk. Like, he legitimately collapsed face forward into the mixer, and everybody was fucking going crazy. And I guess because it's Berlin and because it's Berghain, usually those things don't happen. I'd imagine most people who get booked at Berghain are usually on their best behavior, because you want to get rebooked. So you're a bit conscious or a bit, you know, paranoid about making mistakes or about fucking up. So you're probably, I'd imagine, you're probably most likely going to save all your adult vitamins for after the performance, right? For post set. You're probably not going to be doing it during the set. You're probably not going to be doing it before you play. You want to probably save all your excitement until after. But it could be quite tempting to also partake, because it's, you know, you never know, it's going to be your last chance anyway. So whatever. But Kasper Marott came out on social and kind of cleared up the confusion and said the following. Yesterday, I caused quite a scene by fainting and falling onto the mixer during my set at Berghain, which brought the music to a sudden stop. I walked away with a new scar, but thankfully, I'm feeling better today. Huge thanks to the incredible staff for handling everything so professionally, helping me get back on my feet to finish what I started. I'm also grateful to all the dancers for their support, everyone who sent messages, and of course, my friends and girlfriend for having my back. Just to be clear, I wasn't under any substances. I've been sober my whole life, but the rumors are entertaining. Now, I saw a lot of people saying this about the drugs thing, and I think him clarifying it also spoke to it. What is it with people, especially in dance music? What is it with this refusal to admit you do drugs? I don't understand this. I feel like people are so quick to come out and clear up any rumors, any kind of conjecture about them maybe partaking in some adult vitamins, when a huge part of the scene, a huge part of that culture, a huge part of that subculture, a huge part of going out is the consumption of booze, is the consumption of adult vitamins. Now, you don't need to do it, but it is a huge part of it. And to act like it isn't is kind of being a little bit oblivious to what actually goes on in there. So I always surprise me why people are so quick to try to clear up any confusion as if it's going to hurt your brand. Like, if you're a DJ that plays in clubs like Berlin, or Berghain, sorry, or plays in places like Berlin, most likely, I don't know, you're not the most commercial DJ in the world. Maybe it's different if you're like a business techno DJ. You don't want any of your brand sponsors or partners to get the wrong idea about you and for it to maybe damage your ability to secure or keep some of these fucking, partnerships going. But if you're a quote-unquote underground DJ, up-and-coming DJ, somebody associated with the Berlin underground scene, playing a place like Berghain, it actually helps your image. It helps your brand. You actually come across way cooler if you are somebody that maybe you're not broadcasting it to everybody about what you do, but this refusal to kind of accept that maybe that might be a logical conclusion. It's not someone casting dispersions on your name or trying to make you sound fucking nuts. It's just, because maybe half of the people in there are fucking yacked out of their mind. So them thinking that you also might be yacked out of their mind isn't too far-fetched. You'd imagine. I don't really know. I just saw this. I'm happy he's okay. I'm happy this guy's okay. It must be super scary to be playing at Berghain and to be sober and then to suddenly just collapse, right? I could assume it could be a bunch of things. Maybe he didn't drink enough water. Maybe he didn't sleep before. Maybe he hadn't eaten, because that could also happen, right? When you haven't eaten, you feel incredibly lightheaded. What's happened to you last time it happened to you? Last time it happened to me when I got really ill and sick. When I didn't. Oh, that's it. When I drank coffee on an empty stomach. I remember it happened to me. Like I was in Berlin. I think I went out to Berghain. I think I stayed out for fucking however many hours I stayed out. And I went to sleep and I woke up and I didn't eat obviously the whole time I was out. So let's imagine I was out for like 20 plus hours. And the first thing that entered my stomach was a glass of fucking coffee. And legitimately, like the way that I was convulsing and fainting was crazy. I looked like I was having some sort of fucking OD episode. It was wow. People were really scared, and it was only because legitimately I had nothing in my stomach. And the first thing I drank was coffee, and it was probably the worst thing I could have ever drunk. So I imagine maybe that's part of it. Again, feeling lightheaded, empty stomach, not enough water, maybe just the fucking smoke. If you've ever been to Berghain, you'd know, the fucking guys with the smoke machine go crazy. The people in there smoking cigarettes, vaping, weed, crack, whatever they're doing there. It hits you, especially if you're sober. That can make you go fucking loopy. You know how it is when you haven't eaten sugar for a while and then you have a bite of one fucking biscuit and it's like sensory overload. I can just imagine what it's like if you're stone cold sober and you walk into the fucking, the den that is fucking Berghain. So that could have all contributed to him fucking fainting. So I'm happy he's okay, happy he's good. And I can imagine if you're there on the dance floor, it could also be really weird because Berghain's not the place, like, unless you go there when it starts. I wonder if you go, because I've been there when it starts, but there's always somebody playing. I wonder if you can go in there when no one's playing yet. Like you go in before 11:59. Is that possible? I don't think they'll let you in though. I think they usually let people in from 12. But I wonder how it must feel when you go in there and no one's there on the dance floor. It's empty. No one's there. Because that's probably how weird it was. Because he's playing, I'd imagine, and then his face hits the fucking decks and the music just stops, Like, and everyone's looking at each other, like, what the fuck's going on? Like, no one's used to the music just stopping and you hearing everybody around you. That was just a weird feeling. But people speculating that it could have been drugs, I think it's fair to say, because half the people are probably in there on drugs. I think if it was me and I was playing, as I have a rule across the board, I think generally anyway, especially now with how on it like Sonic I am, in terms of being locked in with the stuff that I'm doing, I think doing any type of drugs while you're playing or any type of drinking even is definitely a no-no. I think the best way to play is to be completely clear-headed and be giving the people that are in front of you dancing the best performance that you can give them by being completely in tune with what you're doing and having no kind of blocks. Because obviously if you've drunk or done any adult vitamins, they kind of create little blocks or little kind of shimmers in front of you, so you can never really be clear on what's going on. It's good for a night out, but I think when you're playing, you're trying to think of songs, because sometimes when I'm playing, I'm sure other DJs have the same thing, you're probably thinking of you're probably 6 songs ahead. You're thinking of 6 songs. Like you have your selection, which you never really follow, like A to B or A to Z, sorry. You have your playlist there. But then you're also thinking of other things that could work. Okay, cool. That could work if I cut this in, if I blend this in. You're thinking of other things. You're also responding to the crowd. You're reading them at the same time. So I think the only way to really read a crowd is to be sober. You can't read a crowd if you're on it, right? If you're constantly fucking sniffling, if you're taking bumps under the fucking decks, if you're downing a million fucking, espresso martinis, especially when you're DJing. Imagine espresso martini and you need to shit. and you're playing a 4-hour set at Berghain, what do you do then? What do you do if you need to shit, but you're playing a 4-hour set at fucking Berghain? What should you do? God damn it. That must be crazy. So I'm happy Kasper Marott is okay, but I think the reluctance of people to admit when they're on stuff, or this rush to clarify that I'm not doing anything, it's like, bro, he's probably the rare. He's probably the exception. This Kasper guy's probably the exception. I think most people are fucking functioning drug addicts or, you know, alcoholics and stuff, trying to get by, and essentially they've created the life of their dreams. Like if you're a real lover of booze and drugs and you become a professional DJ, or you work, you know, as at an agency, or you work for a festival in a nightclub, it's probably the dream job, because you get a chance to kind of, you know, indulge all of your vices in an industry that kind of doesn't turn a blind, or doesn't kind of look at it as a bad thing. That's probably the dream life to have if you want that sort of life. Obviously not for me, but definitely someone that lives in that sort of thing will probably enjoy it. So big up Kasper Marott. Good to see him clear it up. I'm happy that he's okay. I'm happy that he's okay. Let me check in with you guys in the stream chat. Sorry, I've been completely ignoring the stream chat. Big up the stream chatters. Big up Honky Tonk Tennessee. Big up Don Dotta, Wagwan my G. No more than a dance floor, despite being inspired by Saltburn. Exactly. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, that's a good point. But I'd imagine that copyright, that licensing to get fucking Sophia Spectors to agree that you play that thing, it's not cheap, you know? That Sophia Spector woman seems to be about her money. She's not gonna let them play it for nothing. Not for free. Not for free. Or maybe it was just too obvious. It's too on the nose of a reference. Maybe the Saltburn thing was a part of all the references, a part of the themes that it wasn't. It seemed like in the review, the person that wrote it, that Luke Leach guy, he made it seem like that Burberry show was one of the main themes was Saltburn, because of what Daniel Lee said at the backstage. But maybe he meant that was one of the things that contributed to the overall theme. Like he was also watching Saltburn. He was also thinking of the great outdoors. He was also thinking about weekend getaways. That was all added to it. So maybe it was all one big stew. One big influence stew, as Brendan Shaw would say. Big up Honky Tonk. Big up Lucas Sharing, Wagwan G. Thanks for the recommendation for Rene Wise. I got the ticket for me and him to go back to. Yeah, I'm there, bro. I'm there. That's in March, innit? MARRON. I'm fucking there. What, have the tickets already come out? I didn't actually buy my tickets. The tickets already come out. Big up Luke is fucking sharing. Big up Luke is sharing. Let me actually see. Are the tickets already out for that? Rene Wise RA. He already played in Open Ground the other day actually, and he was wanking about it on his Instagram stories. He was going crazy about his Instagram stories, like, oh my god, go Open Ground. He was fucking loving it. So I actually want to go Open Ground now. He was absolutely loving Open Ground. So I want to check that fucking place out. Because he had an absolute blast, it seemed like. But let me just check. He's back to back with MARRON. I'm pretty sure it's MARRON with him at Fold, isn't it? It's in March sometime. Remember I saw it. Where is it? There we go. Yeah, Rene Wise. Oh, it's in April. It's not March. It's April. Okay, yeah, there it is there. And he's playing in March in Berghain, end of March. I actually might be there. I actually might be Berghain end of March actually for that night. So I'm actually get to see him twice the next 2 months. That actually might be a bit of a vibe. Let's see. Are tickets available already? I didn't know they were out already. Ooh, okay, cool. We're buying that right now. We're buying that right now. Big up Lucas sharing. Big up Lucas sharing. Do you want any time? No, we don't want any time. We want before midnight. Big up Lucas sharing for the fucking in the moment ticket buying of this fucking tickets. I need to buy this. So let me just quickly take this off the screen so I can enter my card details and shit. But we're buying this. We're buying this. We are there. We're going to see MARRON and that should be fun though, because they play a lot together. I'd imagine they're quite close friends as well. That might actually add to actually how good it's going to be. So I'm actually excited for it. I'm not going to lie. I'm actually excited for it. I'm really excited for it. So big up these guys. Big up these guys. So what's it? Ooh, 1960. Woo! It's not cheap, bro. It's not fucking cheap, is it? It's not cheap to go out these days. 1960. Before I buy a drink. Before I have to get a locker, before any adult vitamins get involved. 1960. Shit. God almighty. Okay, cool. Let me just quickly do this because I want to make sure that I'm all ready to go for these tickets. So what have we got? My card details? No, card details aren't in there yet. So let me enter those here. Hopefully you can't fucking hear it via the sound of my fucking tapping, but I'm sure you can. Cool. Let's do this. And I haven't been to Fold this year, I don't think so. I've not been to Fold this year, so it'll be a nice occasion to go to Fold again, because I haven't been there in a long time to see what going on over there at fucking Fold. Let's do the expiry date. Let's do that there as well. What is that one? Cool. And let's enter the CVV. Cool. Nice to see. We got that all going there. Save the card. Yes, let's save it. Let's click pay now. Hopefully that works and it's all gone through. Yeah, big up Lucas sharing. You're a fucking G. I totally forgot about this actually. I totally forgot about this. But it's good to know that it's all been confirmed and the tickets are still there and I'm ready to go. Yep, that's it. So we're going. We are going. 17th of April. Long time no see. We shall be there. We shall be there. Big up everybody that goes to fucking Fold. Okay, cool. The tickets are going to be displayed. You can also view the tickets online here. Okay, cool. So I got my tickets there. Are they done? Are my tickets fucking done? Have we got them there? Yep, all confirmed. Absolutely nice. You love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. Confirmed. No, absolutely shabby. You love to fucking see it. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Big up Don Dotter. Big up Lucas sharing. Yeah, yes. Holla, brother, holla. I'll give you a fucking I'll give you an Elon Musk salute. I'll give you an Elon Musk salute, okay? I'll give you a blood clot Elon Musk salute. So yeah, tickets purchased. Nice. You love to see it. So that's what Origins, MARRON and Rene Wise. Origins do loads of great nights, by the way, in London. Whenever you see an Origin night, definitely make sure you take a look at what they do. They do nights all over the place, really. Different venues, Venue MOT, Corsica Studios, The Loft, everywhere. Crazy amounts. They don't fucking play. So what's this? Easter Thursday sees two of the Techno's Rhythms Masters go head to head in Canning Town. As the community's co-founder, MARRON is always the one trying to exceed the limits of himself and the crowd. Highly inspired by the powerful, strong-willed Marrons who freed themselves from slavery to live freely in the primeval forests of Suriname. Is that where it's from? His name? Okay, cool. Rene White's approach for writing music and DJing fuses together one concept where high attention to detail blends with a strong vision and storytelling through sound, portraying a deep sense of knowledge and maturity. The diversing atmospheric soundscapes with raw but modern touch, captivating the listener from beginning to end. Yep, we're there. We are there. So it'll be good. Cannot wait. MARRON, Rene Wise, we shall be there. We shall be there. Okay? That's it, basically. You know we shall be there. You know we shall be there. Moving on. Talking about club news. We have to talk about my guy, Nicholas Rose. You know who Nicholas Rose is. So I covered Nicholas Rose maybe what? A couple of years ago? I think I stumbled across Nicholas Rose because of Grease Muller, now known as RSO. When Grease Muller was going through their clothes and they were reopening a temporary, I forgot what the temporary space was called. They had like a temporary space that was open for a bit before they moved into RSO. But Grease Muller had a little situation during the pandemic, or during lockdown, sorry. And this Nicholas Rose guy went kind of viral in my side of social media because he threw a bit of a hissy fit and tried to cancel Grease Muller, also known as RSO, because he felt as if they were being really unfair because they chucked him out because he refused to wear a mask, or he was fiddling around with his mask or something. It was some sort of mask issue. I think during lockdown, a lot of the clubs in Berlin, in order to kind of stay open and stay afloat, they were opening and doing these kind of open air party things where it was just basically raves in the smoking area, and they had like canapes, and in order to kind of keep them open, you had to have a mask on. Even though you're outdoors, you don't need a mask. They'd make you want to wear it just to make sure that the place wouldn't be closed down. So I guess, you know, everyone was probably quite nervous about that sort of shit and on tenterhooks and shit. And, you know, if you're out, just kind of comply with those things if you're on a rave. I guess Nicholas Rose didn't want to comply, or if I'm not mistaken, his story was that he was in the middle of like looking for something in his bag. He needed to smoke. So he took his mask off for 2 seconds. In those 2 seconds, the security guard came over and told him to put his mask back on. They got into some sort of back and forth. That escalated into Nicholas Rose getting chucked out into the streets with no jacket, no bag, and kind of being felt as if he kind of got targeted. I think he screamed homophobia. He screamed racism. he screamed abuse, all these type of things, right? And then of course it transpired after the case that he embellished or he kind of lied about a lot of things that happened, and it wasn't as dramatic as he made it seem. And then I think some other stuff pops up about him online. I forgot what else happened. Oh, I think another club night, he suffered something else at another club night, and it kind of felt like a bit of a pattern. It felt like for whatever reason, every time this guy kept going out, he kept encountering issues that resulted in him getting chucked out. And, you know, most of us are big believers in, you know, if something keeps happening all the time to you, maybe it's not them, maybe it's you, right? Maybe you're the common denominator, but in this guy's head, that's not the case. And I think the last time I saw something about him, I saw that he was DJing. He was DJing, I think it might have been at Trésor or somewhere like that. And I was thinking to myself, rah, so was that the whole plan? Was the whole plan really to, you know, to try and cancel people and be a bit of a pain in the ass online, just so you could maybe like in order to kind of get gigs, in order to try to propel your DJing career to some level or something? I don't know what that is, but I think it's a bad approach, but I guess for him it's working out. Well, he's in the news again. And I'm reacting to this in real time. I pick up the person that sent this to me on Instagram, but he posted this statement on his Instagram stories regarding some sort of situation that's happening in the Berlin scene. I have no idea what the situation is. I'm reading this in real time, but I'm assuming it has something to do with the partying. It has something to do with him being maybe inappropriate, something to do with drugs, something to do with drink. You know what it is, Berlin shit, right? But it's funny that it's him again. So it seems like it seems like he keeps getting himself in these situations, and he keeps thinking that it's not him, it's everybody else. At some point, I'm wondering, will he ever realize that he might be somewhat responsible for these situations that he keeps finding himself in? Or is it just a coincidence that he happens to be in situations and everyone else around him is awful? I don't know. And then, oh shit, I lie. The last thing I saw about Nicholas Rose was an interview he did with Playful magazine, where he said he was sober. And he spoke about how he was addicted to GHB. And actually, I think he tried to blame a lot of his kind of like earlier run-ins with clubs and shit, and the drama with his excessive GHB use, which I thought was a bit of a cop-out, because it's not like you're claiming any sort of, you're not taking any accountability for your actions, and you're kind of blaming all the drugs and the booze. And I think most of us can agree, people who do stuff on drugs and booze, it's less about the drugs and booze making you do something, and it's more so about the drugs and the booze kind of highlighting your personality, right? And I think that's the case in this regard. So let's see what happened here regarding Nicholas Rose's public statement regarding accusation. So he's been accused of something. Let's see what's going on here. What's going on? So Nicholas Rose, courtesy of socials, what is he saying here? I'm addressing the false allegations made against me by someone called Luca, whose Instagram handle is @NoseBlunt. So let me just see who's this person @NoseBlunt. I want to get all the information I have available. Let me see. NoseBlunt. So let's go Instagram.com and let's see who this person is. Who's NoseBlunt? That's actually a really good username, by the way. That's a really good username. I wonder, is this person an influencer? Are they a DJ? Are they another like TikTok techno person? Who is this NoseBlunt person? Who are you? Who are you, NoseBlunt? Is your account private? Are you open? Let's see. I want to see. Okay. This person, NoseBlunt, has 4,000 followers. Name is Luca. Look pretty cool. They dress up in really nice outfits and shit and do the damn thing. Okay. Bleach blonde hair, nice glasses, standing in front of graffiti, cool tattoos, drink champagne when they're out, just like me. Love to see it. Nice, nice, nice. Let's go on their stories. I want to see if they've got a thing of the allegations. Did they post on Instagram stories? Let's see. Accusations. What have you been accused of? Anything? No. Oh, wow. Okay. Some little peep thing going on here. We've got a picture here of him with some pills on his tongue. Cool. Is there any sort of link to the allegations that they originally said? No link to the allegations? No. Berlin. Cool. With some baddies. With an Elmo hat on. And this is a person again with another, I guess, IG TikTok baddie person. Okay, cool. Big up Luca. So let's see what happened with this Luca person. So I'm addressing the false allegations made against me by Luca @NoseBlunt and the harmful rumors that have followed. So far I've checked that guy's account. I've not seen anything publicly he's posted. Maybe he posted it the other day, but it seems like Nicholas Rose is putting more attention on something that is only local. This is something that happened on the scene. So he's blasting it out. No one else has said anything, it seems like. It seems like no one else has said anything, but I could be wrong. These claims are completely untrue and full of contradictions, and I want to set the record straight with actual facts. On the night of December 29th, 2024, I attended a house party at Hugo's place, where I reconnected with Luca. We drank together, splitting a bottle of vodka, while others at the party were using GBL. Snitch! Why are you snitching on people, bro? Why are you narking on people? Mention people's names and all sorts and shit, and what they were doing. Just talk about what happened with you. Luca and I were among the few who were not. Ooh, you and Luca sitting in a tree. At some point, Luca became extremely intoxicated to the point of stumbling into the hallway. No one else at the party was willing to help him. So, why were you helping him then, eh? Why were you helping him? I wonder. Somebody went to touchy touch, huh? Somebody went to touchy touch. At the point he was stumbling into the hallway, no one else at the party was willing to help him. So I agreed to take him back to his apartment to make sure he was safe. Yo, Luca's on some Alexander Wang shit. Luca's on some Alexander Wang. Sorry, Nicholas Rose. Nicholas Rose is on some Alexander Wang shit. Allegedly, it sounds like. It sounds like he's partying with some guys and spiking some shit in their drinks and taking advantage of them sexually. Allegedly, from what I can read here. I haven't read the whole thing, but it's giving, you know, he was also game. Wow. Taking advantage of people. I didn't know gay guys did this. I didn't know this is a thing in the gay community. I thought this is only the evil straights, the heteros, that did this sort of like deplorable behavior where you'd go out and, you know, where some guys would go out with the specific intention of trying to buy as many drinks as possible for a girl and then taking advantage of them. I didn't know gay guys did this. Yikes. Okay, let's read it before I make up any assumptions here. So I agreed to take him back to his apartment to make sure he was safe. We walked into his apartment and for about an hour and a half while he sobered up. At that point, Luca mentioned wanting to continue drinking, and I pointed out that he had a bottle of tequila in his kitchen. So hold on. You're at a house party with this guy called Luca. You have no idea what's happening prior to you getting there, but when you were there together, you get through half a bottle of vodka, or you drink a whole bottle together, right? Cool. And then you take him back home because he's being belligerent and he's clearly intoxicated and needs to maybe chill out. What? You take him back home, which is a nice thing to do as a friend, but then he wants to start drinking again because he's obviously sobered up a bit. And then you tell him, yeah, let's have some of that tequila in your kitchen. You don't tell him, now chill, man. Let me buy you a bottle of water. Let me go downstairs quickly to the shop. Let me take your card. Give me your card quickly and I'll go get you some bottle of water. You actually encourage him to take the tequila. That's not really a good friend, is it? What are you doing there? That's not really a good thing. Luca mentioned wanting to continue drinking. I pointed out that he had a bottle of tequila in his kitchen and he told me to go get it. I took a large shot, commenting on how strong it was, and Luca took us. Anytime somebody's lying, one of the biggest tells is unnecessary details, in my opinion. Unnecessary details are always a tell when somebody's lying. Why do you need to include, I pointed out that he had a bottle of tequila. I took a large shot, commenting on how strong it was. Like, what? What type of detail is that? Why is that necessary to the story? About how you enjoyed it or how it tasted or what you said? Huh? Anyway, I took a large shot, commenting on how strong it was, and Luca took a sip himself. A few minutes later, he casually mentioned that the entire bottle had been replaced with GBL. So Nicholas Rose went back to this guy's house with maybe some intentions of, you know, some hanky-panky. Little did he know that that guy had some plans of himself and made Nicholas Rose take a shot of tequila that wasn't tequila. Yeah, as if you couldn't tell the difference between tequila and GBL. Come on, man, this guy, bro. As if we believe you. Or is he saying that GBL was mixed with tequila? Because it sounded like he said it should be replaced with GBL, as if you could not tell what GBL was compared to tequila. Come on. I had no idea beforehand and was completely shocked because I had not taken GBL in over 2 years and had no intention of doing so. By the way, I think that's a lie. If you watch an interview with him on fucking Playful magazine, if you think that guy is sober, I've got a fucking boat to sell you. I'm sorry. Watch the interview he did with fucking Playful magazine. If you think that guy was sober, I've got a boat to sell you. I have meme coins to sell you. Send me your money right now. Give me your money. If you believe that guy was sober. It continues. I had unknowingly consumed 2 big gulps which could have been anywhere from 6 to 10 milligrams GBL. A dangerously high dose. Luca then claimed that he chugged 30 ml in one gulp, which is physically impossible. GBL is intensely bitter and burns going down. All of these details, man. It burns going down. It's this, it's that. I took big gulps. Yeah. It's intensely bitter and burns going down. No one could drink 30 ml at once without gagging or throwing up. Even experienced users rarely take more than 2 to 3 ml per dose because of how potent it is. His claim is not just false but completely absurd. While under the influence, Luca initiated physical contact. So he's saying all of that to preface the fucking abuse or the sexual thing that happened. I took this GBL. He spiked my drink. He made me drink something under false pretenses. That's why I tried to fuck him. Okay, that makes sense. What? While under the influence, Luca initiated physical contact. He asked to kiss me once, then again a little later. At one point while making out, he unzipped his pants and began touching himself. There was no further sexual activity. We eventually fell asleep with me resting on his arms. At some point during the night, my hand, which had been on his lower abs. That's where we all rest our hands, right? With the homies, right? With the homies. That's why we all rest our hands on the lower abs, isn't it? When you and your boys are resting after a heavy night of GBL and tequila, you always rest your hand around the lower area, right? Around the lower area, right? You rubbing inside the groin, huh? You always rubbing inside the groin, huh? Yeah, let's go. We eventually fell asleep with me resting on his arms. At some point during the night, my hand, which had been on his lower abs while we were resting, naturally slipped. Naturally slipped. This guy's so full of shit. Naturally slipped. My hand slipped into her pants, sir. Officer, I swear, my hand just slipped into her trousers. Then 1 minute later, my fingers were inside her pussy. And then suddenly, she's moaning, and I'm on top of her. Then she's screaming, and I'm covering her hand with my mouth. What? Excuse me? Could you rewind a couple of steps, please? Was this all consensual? Like, what the hell? My hand naturally slipped lower while we slept. When Luca woke up and asked me to move my hand, I immediately did apologize. He reassured me saying, no, it's actually totally fine. You did nothing wrong. I'm just not gay. But I really enjoyed our time. I'm not gay, but I enjoyed it. Let's do it again sometime. Shh, don't tell no one. Shh. Yo. We remained in his apartment for 2 more hours after that. He then called me an Uber home, and it was just hanging out again. On December 31st, I received a random aggressive message from Raphael, Hugo's father. Who's Hugo? Oh, Hugo's the guy with the house party before, right? Cool. Stating, I know what you did. How dare you behave like that in my apartment? Shame on you. I'm thinking about taking this further. I was completely confused because I had done nothing inappropriate at the party. I later found out. Here he goes. Next slide. What did you find out? What did you find out, my dear Nicholas? What did you find out? Oh, wrong way. Let's go this way. I later found out that Hugo had already been spreading rumors about me, saying that I was taking GBL again and dosing people, which was categorically false. Oh. So I'm assuming by this information, the road around, it seems like to me, the word around town in Berlin is that Nicholas Rose allegedly likes to dose people with GBL. Like, if you're a straight or bi-curious guy, don't hang around him. Don't leave your drink exposed. Don't leave your drink without cover around Nicholas Rose, because he might take cover inside your bumhole. Maybe, allegedly. Weeks later, I randomly saw Luca on the train. He ignored me. I thought nothing of it, but suddenly at 11:30 a.m. on a Wednesday, Lucas sent me a message saying, "You really unfollowed me? After a while, I'm a blackout, somehow taken home to my place, and I wake up to a large man in my bed rubbing my dick non-consensually." A large man, you know, a large black man. I'm not gonna lie. If you absolutely blitz, if you absolutely yacked out of your mind, you're absolutely fucked. you have no recollection of what you did, and you wake up and there's a large black man jacking you off. That's a bit of a jump scare, isn't it? Yes, you initiated it, but waking up and finding this guy like jacking you off aggressively, that is a bit of a jump scare. Weeks later, a large man in my bed rubbing my dick unconsciously. Now, only memory I have is me waking up from the journal and realizing I chugged like 38mm of GBL, not trying to worry. I was already in a knockout. I could have easily died. The whole experience was traumatic, and I tried to joke it away in the beginning, but the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, shit, this is fucked. By the way, on the subject of GBL, GBH, or whatever, GHB, like, I only hear horror stories about this drug, right? Why is it so popular? I've never done it myself, never been interested, but every time I hear stories about it, it's always horrible experiences like this. And that one time when I was in Berghain, and that girl was clearly smashed off her face on GHB, and I was trying to help her get back to her friends and stuff, like, that nearly got me in trouble. Because the security guards thought I was fucking taking advantage of her, sorry, because she was all over the place, lying on me and shit. And then eventually we got her to her fucking friends and got her bag to her and stuff. And obviously I didn't get a fucking thank you and apology from the fucking security guards there. But hey, we kind of, you know, dust it off and keep it moving. But everyone I've seen on it either looks like a zombie or is in very compromising positions, especially if you're like a young guy, young girl. It's probably not the safest thing to do when you're out, especially by yourself. Like, you have to be very, I don't know. Maybe the high is really good and it's worth it, or maybe because it's really cheap. But all the experiences I've heard of people doing it, man, it sounds like a long thing. Like, why would you do that to yourself? You know, like, it sounds like the drug of choice for people that want to take advantage of people sexually. It seems like, from what I've read online so far, it sounds like the drug of choice. That and fucking crazy amounts of ketamine or something. Anyway, it continues, says the message in full are conditions. Number one, he falsely claims this happened on January the 3rd when it actually happened on he claims I raped him on January 3rd. I actually raped him on December 29th. Fucking hell, Nicholas, bro. What are you doing? He falsely claims I took him home while he was blacked out, when in reality he was conscious, aware, and we mutually agreed to go to his place. That's not what he said in the beginning. No. No, that's not what he said in the beginning, is it? That's not what he said. Didn't he give you the impression that this guy was fucked and he took him back home knowing he was fucked? Which is a good thing to do still, right? As a friend, you can sometimes take a friend home when they're fucked and like tuck them into bed, take off their socks, take off their jacket, tuck them into bed and close the door and put the keys through the letter. I mean, you can actually do that and then send them a text that, hey, text me when you're up and shit. People can do that. I'm sure people have done that for me in the past. That's a nice thing to do. But now he's acting like they agreed and they shook hands. Yeah, we're going to go back home and fuck. We're going to go back home and jack each other off, when actually he was clearly fucked. It sounds like it from what I can read in between the lines. But again, who knows? Who said the truth? Who knows? We've only got one side of the story here. He falsely claims that I gave him GBL, when in reality, he had replaced the entire bottle of tequila with GBL himself. He claims he chugged 30 ml, which is physically impossible and obviously exaggerated lie. He then says in the blackout that the entire time, yet he somehow remembers the exact measurements of how much GBL he's supposed to be drinking. He initially joked about the situation, only later decided it's traumatic and thinking about it more. Hey, that point, I know that's annoying to you, Nicholas Rose, but he did that too. I'm sure he's done that in the past. I think he did that in the past with one of his allegations against clubs. At first, it was all fun and games, and then later on, oh my God, it's traumatic. I fucking hate my life. He only accused of me after I unfollowed him on Instagram, which makes no sense if he truly believed I assaulted him. But he still didn't. He still hasn't cleared up why he unfollowed him. Why did you unfollow the guy on Instagram? Because he ignored you on the train? Or because you felt guilty? Anyway, it continues. His behavior following the alleged incident directly contradicts his accusations. If he had truly felt violated, why would he let me stay in his apartment for 2 hours after he was waking up? Because he was waking up and he was probably still fucked, maybe? I don't know, that's my answer. Why would he call me an Uber home and just hanging out again? I think that happens a lot with victims of abuse, no? They're usually quite cordial and shit because they want to make sure the person gets away from them. They don't want to anger them to make them stay on shit. So I don't think him letting them stay in his house is a indication that everything was okay. This sounds like gaslighting to me, but what do I know? Why would he only bring this up after I unfollowed him on social media? Not long after his message, Luca publicly accused me of assaulting and drugging him. People began harassing me online, commenting on my post, tagging my loved ones, my teachers, my friends, calling me a rapist. These accusations are 100% false. Yeah, I bet they are. I bet they are. Oh, how the mighty have fallen, bro. This guy was going around accusing clubs of like racism and homophobia. Imagine clubs in Berlin. Homophobia. How? Maybe racism, you could have a point. Maybe in some places. But how? Homophobia. How can you imagine trying to accuse the clubs in Berlin of homophobia? The whole entire fucking industry is fucking founded on fucking homosexuals and queers and LGBTQ plus folk. Like, that's the whole scene. Like, you wouldn't survive if you had a club that was, you know, homophobic. It wouldn't survive a month out there. It would fucking die. Look at Watergate, R.I.P. You know, like, come on, man. This fucking guy. Next slide. This entire situation is clearly coordinated attack on my reputation. Okay, let's relax, bro. Let's relax, brother. You're not Kanye. You're not fucking Kanye. Let's chill out a little bit. This entire situation is clearly coordinated attack on my reputation. Raphael had already threatened me days before Luca even messaged me, meaning this was planned ahead of time. Or Hugo had already been spreading false rumors. So there's already false rumors about me returning to using G, using it to harm others before any accusation has been made. And Luca's own story is full of contradictions that all falls apart under basic scrutiny. It's ironic I was accused of taking G again when the person who made this rumor is a new G user amongst other harder substances. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what's right or what's wrong or what's true and what's false. But this explanation ain't it, Nicholas Rose. I'm not gonna lie. This explanation ain't it. This explanation ain't it, bro. I think you did that shit. I don't know. I think you did that shit. It says here again, the truth is simple. I did not give Luca GBL. The entire bottle was replaced with GBL by Luca himself. But you still gave it to him if you poured it in a cup and gave it to him, no? Anyway, I unknowingly consumed more GBL than he did. Luca initiated all physical contact. How do you remember though? Luca left me stay in his apartment for 2 hours afterwards. Again, that's not justification for R-wording him, allegedly. He even left to go on work errand and encouraged me to rest some more. Luca himself reassured me that nothing inappropriate had happened. He only accused me after I unfollowed him on IG. This is a blatant case of defamation and character assassination. You're gonna sue? I have never and would never drug or assault anyone. I have worked hard to maintain my sobriety. Yeah, right. And then false accusations are not only deeply damaging, but also harmful to real survivors of assault. I will not let my name and reputation be destroyed by lies. I have documented all the evidence, messages, and timestamps. I am prepared to take legal action if it continues. I bet Grease Miller, I bet RSO, I bet these clubs are laughing at him now, innit? Now you know how it feels. Oh, he's gonna sue. This has gone beyond just rumors on social media and drama. This is now actively affecting my career. I have people harassing me online, sending messages, spreading lies, and now I've already lost significant work because of it. Well, if you're an R word, this is what it is, isn't it? As a freelance artist, every opportunity matters. This kind of defamation has real consequences. People need to stop blindly spreading this and actually ask who should really be held accountable. I said my piece, I stand by it. Anyone who continues to push this narrative is doing it out of malice, not justice. To those who have blindly spread this false accusations, I urge you to reconsider the harm you are causing. False claims like these do not help survivors, they only undermine the truth. I don't know, man. I don't know. Who knows who's telling who the truth? But it just seems really dicey, the amount of times this guy's been involved in drama. And he's only been in the scene. No, he's only been in that Berlin scene recently, right? If I'm not mistaken. I think he came from Amsterdam, I think so. And I think he left Amsterdam under a bit of a cloud. So everywhere he goes, drama seems to follow. Everywhere he goes, drama seems to follow him. So everywhere he goes. So if that's the case, it's making me feel like this guy might be the common denominator, man. You might be the common denominator in all of this drama, all of these issues. I don't think everyone is out there to get you. It's not that deep. I don't think it's that deep. But I could be mistaken. But if he did do what he said he did, what he said he's been accused of, then I don't blame people in the scene for like blacking him out and icing him out of certain things and shit. Like, because that scene is probably quite close knit, you'd imagine. techno club scene, whatever. Everybody kind of knows each other, and everybody's getting fucked up. You just have to keep it within some sort of level of limits. You can't go too overboard. And when you go overboard, you're gonna affect some of your, some of your opportunities in the future, or any potential opportunities. So this is part of the course. The only issue is if he didn't do it. If he didn't do it, it's fucked up. And it's almost impossible for him to clear his name, because he's got so much, like, this could be that boy who cried wolf situation, right? Where he's always, he's always fucking out here making up rumors about people. But then this could be the one time where it's actually true. What he says is actually true. Like, he's actually telling the truth. This could be the one time. But he's cried wolf so many times, no one believes him, which is sad. But this is also a part of the reason why you need to be wary of reputation, and you need to move a certain way, and not be so reckless with how you do certain things, and not kind of step on people's heads and just be so whatever. And it's now coming to bite him in the ass, unfortunately, because even if this is not true, the damage is already done. Even if he sues and whatever, which is pretty hard to do, defamation cases to win, proving those type of things is really difficult, but the damage is already done. Everyone kind of is already labeling, everyone already thinks you're annoying. Then this comes out, people already think you're, they don't think much of you. Then this comes out with the heavy allegation against it. People are going to be quick to believe it, because people are quick to kind of believe victims. And you don't really have the best reputation, So it's looking kind of peak for Nicholas Rose. I'm not going to lie. It's looking fucking peaky for him. But I'm curious to see how this fucking plays out. I'm really curious to see how this plays out. But what an absolutely horrifying situation, all things considered, mate. This guy is just, I don't know what the fuck he's trying to do out here. What's his actual, I want to see his Instagram. Has he made it? Let's see, has he got anything else on his Instagram here that I've missed out on? Is it Nicholas Rose like that? What is it? Nicholas Rose, what's it? Nicholas Rose 1996. But hopefully, if he is not guilty and he didn't do what he's been accused of, hopefully he takes this as a fucking lesson and chills out a bit. He's been doing a little bit too much anyway, He's been doing a little bit too much. I feel like I see him more on the gram, more on the timeline for drama and nonsense, as opposed to his actual work. Because based on his bio, he's meant to be a professional dancer and a cellist. I've seen that he also starting to DJ now. But the only thing I hear about him on the timeline is drama. That's the only thing I hear about him. Drama. So I'm hoping these sort of things can maybe be a lesson, a wake-up call, so you can kind of just chill out, man. Just chill the fuck out. Rein it in a little bit, bro. You can't be in a city like Berlin, full of fucking psychos, full of crazy people, full of scene kids, full of lovers of drugs and drinking and dancing and fucking and all this sort of stuff, and freaking. If you're freaking out people over there, you're doing too much. If you're freaking out Berliners and you're making them kind of want to kind of cut you off and excommunicate you, you're probably doing too much. Let's just relax in it. Let's just relax a little bit. Let's just rein it in a tiny bit, and let's just be a little bit more chill and considerate, and and kind of work to maybe make some friends and whatever else it may be, as opposed to what this guy's doing right now, which is, I don't know, anything but that. And he seems to be a talented dude. It seems like he dances and sings and I guess does ballet and all this other stuff, but for whatever reason, it doesn't seem to be clicking with people out there, and people don't seem to be responding to him in the best way possible. And it could be because he may be out here jacking niggas off when they're half asleep. I don't know. But Jesus Christ, Nicholas, man, let's relax. Let's fucking take a deep breath and chill out. Please, for the love of God. Please, for the love of God. But again, what do I know? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Big up the stream chat. What's going on? What are you guys saying in the stream chat? T-Fat K just dropped. Yeah, we're going to watch that later on. Big up Mr. Bob. I'm going to be watching that later. Big up the random show people. That'll be happening, I think, right after this show, actually. I'll do that, so keep an eye out for that one. Big up Don Dotta. Tequila bottle laced with GVO is crazy work. Exactly. Yes, wild how GHB is so popular with their, considering it's known as the grape drug in the USA. Oh, yeah, true it is. I think, to be fair, most of the people that I hear that get spiked here, or the reports I hear about in the news, are people that get spiked with, with ketamine. I think so. I think most of the issues I hear of when it comes to spiking is ketamine, which makes sense because it's a dissociative, and you can imagine an aggressive K-hole it can have you almost be blacked out. So mostly the London one of choice is ketamine. Big up Josie. Remember Tom Segura's story of ODing on that? Yeah, true. Exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, Tom Segura. Yeah, good point. Good point. I forgot about that. Yeah, good point. Big up Josie. Don Dota, knowing these guys' stories he tells, he'll gaslight the entire court if he gets a case against him. Yes, run it up. Random show right after this one. Big up Honky Tonk as well, and big up Josie as well. Sounds like the male Cardi B. Yeah, he's just out here doing the most, isn't it? He just needs to relax. He needs to relax before this gets really serious, or he's gonna end up moving to another city somewhere else. Maybe you might see him. He might go to Portugal. He might run away to Portugal. He might go to South America or something, because it seems like every scene he goes to, he seems to ruffle feathers. People tend to kind of ice him out. Then he runs somewhere else and tries to reinvent himself. And Berlin, I think, is a good place to reinvent yourself. It seems like a good adult. It seems like a good adult playground. Everyone's in a state of somewhat rested development. You can indulge yourself there. No one's gonna kind of look at you twice for going out 7 days per week and enjoying yourself and indulging yourself. So he just needs to relax, man. And again, it seems like he does some cool stuff. But the only thing I hear about this guy is the drama. You know, look, he's DJing somewhere here. Someone he's DJing out here with a dress on and shit. His hair dyed. But the only thing you hear about this guy is drama. So hopefully he just relaxes a little bit and concentrates on the fucking art, innit? Concentrates on stuff that actually matters. Like playing, making music, dancing, having a good time. You know, all that sort of shit. But hey, what do I know? Maybe this is all part of the game. This is all part of the game. Being this person too. I'm not too sure. Actually, I want to hear what type of stuff does he play? I'm curious to know. What type of stuff does this guy play? Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Yeah, I guess. I guess is what the concerning thing about him as well would be that if you're trying to be a DJ, especially in a small scene or in a scene in general, you kind of need to be like well liked, isn't it? You can't really. It's probably hard to be a professional DJ and not be well liked. If you're rubbing people up the wrong way, if you've got crazy accusations about you, people are not going to be rooting for you. They're not going to be trying to cheer you on. They're going to be putting you in position. They're going to be recommending you. They're not going to be endorsing you. You know. So you gotta be careful, man. I don't know. You gotta be careful. If you're just trying to be a raver, that won't matter. But if you're trying to take part, you're trying to work in the industry, you probably have to be conscious of your reputation and probably not be jacking people off when they're half asleep. This is a bit better. Yeah. Maybe this is the whole point. Maybe the whole point was just this. Maybe there wasn't never really an issue with clubs. Maybe it wasn't really trying to be this activist guy, because that's what he used to call himself, right? He's calling himself an activist, fighting for, you know, gay people, fighting for black people, representation. Maybe the whole point of him crying and complaining online was kind of rooted in some level of jealousy and envy of wanting to be the person behind the booth, thinking that I'm bigger than that. I should be there. I deserve that. Why are they getting that? Why don't I have that? And in a way to sort of get in there, instead of relying on his talent, instead of relying on his ability to put on good parties or DJ well, he went through the victim route, which has worked in some. I can't blame him, because this whole like pretending to be a victim thing has worked in other industries and other scenes. People have kind of gone forward, but I think nowadays it's too late. That whole kind of fake, you know, kind of trying to get in there through BLM, trying to get in there through being a victim. You should have done it during COVID, and then kind of propel his DJ career that way. But now trying to push yourself through that thing is a bit loose, especially if you're not liked. It's not going to go down well. It really isn't going to go down well. The only way you can get away with not being liked is also being elite at what you do. It doesn't sound like he's elite. It sounds like he's an okay DJ, but you know, I'm sure we all have friends that can play to this level or better. It's probably not enough for him to get sets and stuff, but you know. But yeah, man, he needs to just focus on the work, man. All this fucking shit that he's allegedly being accused of is a little bit too much, brother. Let's just focus on the work. Let's just focus on the work, bro. because there's definitely a scene out there for him that people like him. They're recommending him for nights. He's getting booked in certain places. Let's just focus on that, and let's not be trying to jack off people when they're fucking comatose or semi-conscious and shit. That probably isn't the right way to go about doing things. But who knows? It could all be false. You never know. You never know. But that is the latest in the Nicholas Rose drama. Big up him. Big up him. Cool. Moving on. Let's talk a little bit about Berghain. Oh, actually, sorry. Let's I forgot. Big up Richie. Oh, sorry, brother. I didn't see your donor. Big up Richie. Big up Richie. Gucci show just happened. Snooze fest. Fashion might be dying. Really need something new and fresh. Lee final bow. Please watch and show. Guy yawning and not clapping. Oh yeah. Big up Richie. Appreciate that. Sorry for that. I completely missed your donor. Yeah, I think a lot of people have said the same thing. I think this reshuffle though with designers might help. I think the reshuffle with designers is gonna help. I think Daniel Lee going to fucking Chanel and a few other people shuffling around is gonna reinvigorate things and gonna make things way more interesting going forward. But there's definitely, we miss a sparkle. I'm gonna say, to be fucking, to kind of wax on my fucking streetwear sort of thing, I'm gonna say a bit of the sparkle was missing ever since Virgil died. I think a lot of that fashion season sparkle for me has died when he passed, unfortunately. We don't really get that sort of insight behind the scenes of what's going on. I don't feel like the energy is there the same way. But we might actually be going through a lull in the industry in general. It might be a bit of a lull that's reflective of the world entirely. I think all parts of entertainment and arts are also suffering. Movies aren't that great. TV series aren't that great. Art isn't that great in general. People aren't doing that well. People are suffering out there. So maybe that's why the fashion weeks in general aren't really popping as much as they should be. But I'm hoping with this reshuffle, because I'm assuming, Matteo Blasi, I'm assuming he's going to fucking knock it out of the park at Chanel. And Chanel's been dying to be resuscitated. And I'm assuming going forward, we're going to see a lot more of that from him. And you'd imagine with these designers, they kind of respond and react to each other. So with him kind of injecting new life into that brand, that might help to kind of reinvigorate everything and get people kind of, feeling a little bit more enthusiastic about Paris Fashion Week, which might kind of rub off on the feeling that we're having online. But I definitely recognize it. But yeah, Richard, I definitely recognize the same thing. I'm not even following the seasons as much as I was before. When I stumble across things, but I'm not even following it as closely. I'm not watching as much live streams of fashion shows. I'm not going on Vogue.com as much as I used to, or opening the app, Vogue Runway. I've noticed my consumption of it is kind of dwindling. I'm just going, I'm checking out stuff that I like, archive things, whatever they may be, certain fucking Instagram accounts, but I'm not really on point in terms of checking out latest fashion weeks and collections and whatever else it may be. So that's probably a reflection of the entire mood. But hopefully, it kind of gets a bit of a kick up the arse and a jolt. Usually Paris Fashion Week's a time when things kind of really feel energized. And I'm assuming this season or this coming Paris Fashion Week will be that, especially with all the big debuts going on there. So big up Richie, big up Richie. Continuing long. Berghain March 2025 program is out. I forgot to mention this prior, so please forgive me if you're waiting for my review of it. But it's a pretty stacked lineup. As I always say, and I always recommend, I feel like the best times to go to Berghain to get like a really good reflection of what the club is about and what the scene is about is to go probably during the months of January and April. If you go around those 4 first months of the year, I think it's a better reflection of what's going on, because towards the end of the year, when it gets a bit more hype and the sun's out and the lights are a little bit more whatever, it's not the best. But I feel like these sort of time, especially during the winter, because I think over there in Berlin it's definitely snowing these last couple of weeks, and you won't get as many tourists over there, and you get a lot more quote unquote locals or regulars there and shit, and it won't be as full as other months as well. It's a much better time to go. And if you're scared about not getting in and you're worried you might get turned away, you have a better chance of getting in between the months of January and March as opposed to May onwards. There's much better chance, I think so, especially because I think in the middle of the year, that's usually when they have their Easter party. They usually have towards the end of the year their yearly parties. I think it might be the 21st anniversary. It's happening towards the end of the year, so those are really the hype ones, and they're the ones that are really hard to get into. and they're usually oversubscribed. There's too many people inside, and it might, you might be in a bit of a bad mood if you end up getting in there and it's super full and there's annoying people and it's not the best vibe. But if you want to get accurate representation of the club, definitely try and go between January and March. And the lineups are way more interesting, I think, also because they're not booking the most hypest people. I personally think so. So let's check through the program. The first lineup for January here, we have for the 1st of March, we have Altin Bass, Ed Fimi, Fadi Moham, Leah Oche, big up her, Norbuk, Tasha, Vera Logdandini. In Panorama Bar, you got Fidel, Lakuti, and Optimo, Legends. You got Osima back to back with Emil. You got Sadif Adsi. You got Tijiana T and Victor. I would go for the first, just for Panorama Bar alone. That's a really good lineup. Lakuti and Optimo and Fidel is nice. And Tijana T is a very underrated DJ in general. Especially for like one of those hot girl DJs. Maybe because she doesn't really put herself out there like that. You know, I've not really seen a picture of her with the fucking tatas out and shit, or with her ass out. Maybe that's the reason why it's not the same. But I feel like she is absolutely an amazing DJ. So I really recommend you check her out. Actually, there's a phone call coming in there. Bear with me a second. I've got a phone call coming in here. Yeah, anyway, spam call, lovely spam call. So yeah, to big up to Jana T, I'd recommend that one for the first. And you got Soul Night going on there. I'm not really too interested in that one. Oh, there's a FC Girls Night happening. I'm assuming that's because of isn't it like a queer day, or is that a Flinter Day, right? I think that's a Flinter Day in Berlin, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right? Flinter. Is it Flinter? How do I spell that? Is it Flinter? Flinter Day, Berlin. I think that's what that. I think that's why that was, right? Is it? How do you say? Is it Flinter? I think it's Flinter spelled like that, right? Yeah, I think it's Flinter. Flinter Day. Yeah, International Flinter Day is on the 7th. So what is okay? So it's Flinter Day is Berlin, right? It's not anywhere else. So it says, what is Flinter Berlin? Flinter is a German abbreviation that stands for women, lesbians, intersex, non-binary, trans, and agender people. Okay, cool. And that's happening on the 7th. So I'm assuming that's why there's that. That's why they have that FC Girls lineup with Ace T, Nora, Born in Flames, Shoki 287, Elk and Jasmine and Jessie G and Miel playing there on FC Girls Night. But the big one definitely is this one, that club. This on the 8th of March. You got Absolute, Bestie Hera, Jacko, who's absolutely killing it at Berghain. Every time I go on the Berghain subreddit, people are fucking jacking her off when it comes to the sets and what she plays and trying to get track ID. So Jacko is killing it. LOL Snake, big up her. You got Main playing Marina, Steffi, big up Steffi. In Panama, you got Alinica, Bella, Natalie Serres, Shero, Stacey Hotwax, Virginia, Yamor, and The Basement. The only thing that I'm a bit confused about when it comes to sort of stuff, like, I don't mind these Flinter Day lineups, but I wonder, like, was there a Black History Month lineup in February? I don't think there was. So I've always found that interesting. So they're quick to do these nights, a Flinter night, where you basically have mostly women or people that identify as women on the lineup, cool. But then you don't have an all-black lineup during Black History Month, when you could probably stack it with amazing artists, considering the amount of black DJs that play in Berghain. It's not as if they don't book black DJs, they do. But that would be a really good look if they had like an entire lineup that was made up of black artists or black DJs. I'd fucking love that for a weekend. That'd be an absolutely great change up and a mix up, because usually, you know what Berghain's kind of pointed towards. So it's interesting how we get fucking Flinter nights, but we don't get fucking Black History Month nights. Or maybe because there's not, maybe Black History Month isn't recognized in Berlin or in Germany. Maybe it's not a thing. But it'll be good if they had a Black History Month lineup during February. Maybe they have it already. I haven't seen it, but I don't really see it so far. So we have Flinter lineups, but no Black History Month lineups. Okay, cool. Another one here says we got a Siamese Twins night happening on the Thursday the 13th. Then we have a Sound Metamorphosis 10-year anniversary, part 1. On the 14th as well happening with Mad Professor, Courtney Bailey, back-to-back with Tornado Wallace. Tornado Wallace is one of the best producers out there, and DJs 2 is sick. You got Fan, Palms Tracks, Pam and Mr. Cian, Simone de Kunovovic, Sound Metaphor DJs. In Berghain Room, you got 69dB, Egregor, Rashad Becker, Suzanne Siani, DJ Stingray 313, Interstellar Funk, Kondoku opening DJ and Vlada. So far, the only lineup that I'm really standing out so far is this one here, the first. What else do we have here that I don't mind? You've got the Fate Beat lineup happening on the 21st, featuring Medi M, Ida, Christian. Oh, this is a good lineup. Okay, now we get into the good stuff. This might be something that I would go to. The 21st and the 22nd. The 21st, you got Faith Beat, Medi M, Ida, Christian AB, Jackie Sommer, Ogazon, Ryan Elliott. It's insane Panorama Bar lineup. Insanely good Panorama Bar lineup. House music supreme. Christian AB especially, one of my favorite fucking DJs that I've discovered in the last couple of years or so. He's really fucking good. You know, deep house, minimal house type of vibes. He's fucking amazing. He's really fucking good. Then the following night, you got Adil playing in Berghain, Barker, Shindu, the Lady Machine, great DJ, Will, Wata Regashi, O-Phase. In Panorama Bar, you got Bashka playing, Boris, Cormac. You know how much I love Cormac and his fucking disco sets. Jason Winters, Kiki Lomo, Nat Wilder, Partok, and Marcel Dietman in Soul playing live. That's actually a pretty. This might be the standout one so far. The 21st and the 22nd. 21st for the fucking Panorama Bar room, Panorama Bar night, Faith Beat, and then a regular club night on the 22nd. This is definitely the standout one so far for me. Then you got a Lush night happening with Cora, Jensen and Interceptor, who I've not heard of in a while, man. He's good. Wonder what's happened to him. I feel like the hype around him kind of died in the last couple of years. He was everywhere, and I don't see him too many places. Oh, we got Live from Earth night. Oh, I can't wait to watch. I can't wait to keep an eye on the fucking thread, on the Berghain community thread when this happens, because Live from Earth, they always have one of the most legendary threads. People can't not stay away for whatever reason. They know exactly what they're gonna get from Live from Earth nights out. I think it's full of people who most people online don't like the TikTok techno crew with the Go Faster glasses and the choker chains and the big jeans and the boots. That type of crowd, right? Maybe a little bit more boisterous and machismo and aggressive. So people don't seem to like that. They don't tend to like that for some reason. Most of the Berghain regulars or community of people. And the easiest way to kind of avoid it is just to not go. Whenever you see a Live from Earth event, if you don't like that kind of vibe and what they're about, just don't go. If you don't like that bro techno scene, whatever that is, just don't go. But people just can't seem to not go. They can't seem to let go. And they go and they then get annoyed. And they spend all their time complaining about it and bitching and moaning in the fucking, in the thread over there on the Berghain subreddit and shit. So I can't wait. I'm looking out for that. I really can't wait to see how it kind of plays out people that go. But the lineup is really good. Berghain, you got Blawan, you got DJ Hyperdrive, Kiki, Ronnie, and THC. Panabar, you got someone called Bowen Fiend, whoever that is. Actually, I want to. Who is that? Who's Bowen Fiend? Who's Bowen Fiend? Let me see. I want to know who this person is, so to see what type of vibe motherfuckers are gonna be getting when they go to fucking when they go to when they go to Live from Earth, because for some reason people can't stop going there, even though they know it's not the great idea. Okay, there's Bowen Fly on SoundCloud. How do you pronounce it? Is it Bowen Fiend or Bowen Find? I don't know how you pronounce it. Okay, he's named after a painter as well. He's named after Gustav Bauernfeind, who is a painter from back in the day. So let's see what this Bauernfeind does. You can already tell by the vibe, right? You got the Nike hat. You got the scarf covering the face and shit. You already know what time he's on. Bomber jackets everywhere, big boots, crazy silver rings, tattoos everywhere, little scribble tattoos all over the place. So let's see what he plays here. Let's get an idea. What should we play here? Let's play this Vox Nox mix, podcast number 161 from Bowen Fiend. I'm gonna skip ahead here to see what the vibe is all about. What's he on? What's he on?
Chaque chose a son temps.
Not bad vibe. Not too bad, not too bad. Not for me, but he seems fun. I'm sure the people on the Berghain community subreddit will love him. Then you got DJ Gogola playing, Dylan Brady, Maluji, Rosa Pistola, love her. Big up fucking Rosa Pistola. I'd actually go just to see her play. I'm not gonna lie. I love Rosa Pistola. That reggaeton vibe, listening to that sort of music in fucking Panorama Bar will be absolutely a vibe. I'd love to see that. I'm not gonna lie. That might be a vibe in itself. Seeing Rosa Pistola play. Big up Blood Clot Rosa Pistola. Where's the fucking SoundCloud? Can we get the SoundCloud up on here so I don't have to fucking search too crazy? Let's see if we can get the SoundCloud here. But yeah, I think that's actually a really good lineup. But like they usually are good ones. They usually good ones anyway. I'm not gonna lie. The live from Earth lineups are usually pretty decent, but you also have to put up with the argy bargy of the crowd, which a lot of people tend to not like for whatever reason. Does she have a SoundCloud? She does, right? There's Rosa Pistola, right? Is that the one? Let's see here. There's a set here from Primavera Sound from Rosa Pistola. Primavera Sound, Rosa Pistola played 2 years ago. Actually, let's go back. Let's just go. I just want to go to her SoundCloud account if possible. Could you please show me that without making me go back and forth, please, if possible? Bish bash bosh. I think it's there, right? There we go. That's her account there, Rosa Pistola. Let's see what she has going on here in her actual account. So yeah, so there's some tunes: Loco, Super Trompeta, Coracha, A Lo Loco. Let's see this new tune. She's got a new tune called Loco. Let's see what this sounds like. Big up Rosa Pistola. Live from Earth at the Berghain soon. Come on, brothers. Let's play.
En esta vida nadie quiere la desgracia. Van muertos de risa, viven de la delincuencia. Traes la medicina, pero no eres la farmacia. Búscate lo tuyo, la envidia, la indiferencia. Escribo mis canciones, esa es la diferencia. Sin estar pegado, ando rifando en Francia. Nada le debo al juez, ya he pagado mis sentencias. Es celos, mami, dice Cristian, dímelo Rosa, la maldosa, yo, dímelo Scarlett. Loco, baby si te choco. 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 La maldosa. Loco, baby si te choco. Loco, baby si te choco. Dinero pa' todo el com.
Okay, I guess so. Super trompeta. Super trompeta. Yeah, nice. Decent. Good Live from Earth lineup. And then the last lineup for the month of March is the 29th. You got Planetary Assault Systems, Ben Clock, DJ Maria, big up her, killing it. I recently saw she did the RA mix as well recently, so she's come from obscurity, I feel like, And that's actually a DJ that Berghain broke, I feel like. I think she wasn't that well known before Berghain. I'm sure she was doing her thing, but Berghain definitely are the ones that I think put her on another level. And as she's playing there more regularly, she's booked out of her fucking wazoo, gigs everywhere, doing RA mixes and shit. So big up DJ Maria, DJ Red, FR JPLA, GGFM, Massimiliano Pellegaria, Rene Wise, end of the month. Ooh, that could be a good one. And a Helita playing at Panorama Bar, Eduardo de la Calle, Honey Dijon, Quest, Radio Slave, who I love, Roy Perez, who I love, Yozu Iwata, and Fireground. Ooh, decent lineup. So I guess the ones to go to, if you're confused, might be 28th and 29th, or 21st and 22nd. But if I was to go, I definitely would go to this, which I'm actually considering. I might actually go to this one. If I can get flights and time away, I think I'm going to go to this one, the Friday 28th to the Saturday. I think I'll probably fly in for the Saturday and maybe fly out on Sunday or Monday morning. I think I might do this weekend. I might do the last weekend of the month, which adequately falls, at the right time as well during payday. So I think I might do this one, 28th to the 29th. I think that might be the one I might have to go forward. I'm not going to lie. So big up Berghain, big up Blood Clot Berghain. Okie dokie. That's been it. 3 hours. Thank you for tuning in to the Agostino Zinga Show, episode number 877. I think it's 878. Sorry, 878. Thank you for tuning in. Been a pleasure to have your company. Those of you waiting for the random show, give me about an hour or so. I'll get it timed up anyway on here, so you'll see it. But I'll be doing the random show right after to do a watch along for T-Fat K, so watch out for that one. For those of you listening to this show via the podcasting apps, you'll be hearing my tune of the day from a new rapper that I just discovered last couple of days. Big up Skate Star. And the song that I'll be playing underneath my voice right now will be from this up and coming, new generation of, I guess, Atlanta rappers called Skate Star. And the song that I'll be playing will be a song called Trendy, which I've been having this on repeat ever since I've discovered it the last couple of days. I think it came on my shuffle. But he's like, there's a whole cohort of these kids coming up. Another one called Tazs as well, who's really good. But big up Skate Star. The song called Trendy is playing underneath my voice. That's my song of the day. For everybody else, thank you for tuning in. It's going to fade to black. I appreciate everyone. Make sure you like the stream, subscribe to the channel, leave me a 5-star review, all that good stuff. And I'll see the rest of you guys again very, very soon. But thank you for tuning in. Have a good one. Take care. Peace.